It's okay.
That's
Hey,
fine.
everyone.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Are you
Nothing's
sure
nothing's a
everything's fine?
no, nothing's a problem at all. Absolutely nothing in the slightest. I'm definitely not worried about a strange glitch that OBS has been having for a little bit, where it will occasionally, for like a single frame, like show a weird black flash. I don't know why it's happening, but no, it definitely
That
won't
sounds like
happen tonight.
something you are worried about,
No,
actually.
it definitely won't impact anything or cause issues on the stream. That's not
Maybe it's
anything
your
that'll
fault.
happen.
Who knows?
It'll be fine. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's good. We have Pac-Man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 135 of the Sonic Talk podcast. I am your host, your great and glorious host, Knuckles87.
You're a
And
ghost.
with me
host.
today are my peons, GX and Shigs.
I ain't nobody's peon.
I just
You are
watched
mine.
I just watched an hour and a half of Jeff Gerstmann slowly losing his grip on reality as he tries to play and understand and then rank Bill and Ted's excellent video game adventure for NES. It was a
You
trip.
should do that for Bubsy.
Bubsy's not on the NES.
No, but he is on other things, including current platforms, thanks to like several recent upcoming releases.
Are we so are you pulling rank this time and starting off with our pre-show discussion?
Yeah, you know what? Sure, yeah, Bubsy 4D got revealed, and I just find that funny.
It's from a noteworthy publisher who has done multiple generally well-received games. I think among all of us, I have not touched a Bubsy an official. No, that's not true. Actually, I played the entirety of the Bubsy remake, or not remake, but the
the 2D game from a few years ago that did not look very good, and so I did not get it.
and wasn't as sort of a punishment stream thing that, you know, hey, there's context for it, but just understand, I played through it all in one sitting. It wasn't good, but I have watched so much Bubsy be played across the various streamers that I followed, and the thing I would most significantly say is it seems like it gestures at some of the iconography of Bubsy, but at the same time it also looks like they stripped out everything that made Bubsy Bubsy, and it's probably a better game for it.
They literally gave him a jacket and tie. like his one piece of iconography is a white shirt with an exclamation point on it, which is like
Hey, he's a family man now.
the laziest thing you could do for a mascot design.
Well, even like the sense of humor that they tried to apply, like, but Bubsy's sense of heavy air quote sense of humor was that it
very
was
pop culture-y, I think.
Well, no, that kind of that's
And
more of Gex's.
slapsticky.
Yeah. Like Bubsy's humor in the classic stuff is like just have everything have constant cat puns in all of the phrasing for like everything. And then occasionally like some levels are just named after movies. And then Bubsy's shtick is that he's just a goofy Looney Tunes like character who will repeat the same phrases over and over and over again that are like slightly irreverent, but like not in any particular way.
What could possibly go wrong?
It feels like It almost feels like this they turned Bubsy into a into geez, what's
He is a white suburban dad.
yeah, a little bit. I was
In
gonna
his voice, I'm fairly certain, like, in what he's doing, because I'm pretty sure he has actual kids in the trailer. Like, they're in the background, but they're there. And, and it's like he's just like 40 years old. He has a gut and he's got a job, which is why he needs a jacket and tie. That is the whole impression I get from him. Which is not what I would expect from Bubsy anything.
yeah, I'm trying to think of the specific
Bubsy for hire.
No, this Bubsy is hired. He has an office job in, like, Newark or whatever. I don't know.
yeah, it's weird. Like there's stuff there is stuff that I recognize in it that are like, hey, you say he's a family man, but I will also cite like those are like the nephews from the pilot that never went
Oh,
anywhere.
right. They have a bunch of pilot characters in this. I forgot.
Yeah, Rodney
Okay.
Dangerfield was the comedian I was sort of pushing towards. Like it feels like he
all right.
lost his goofballness, and he's now more of like a Rodney Dangerfield. Like not the full shtick of like I can't get any respect, but just like much more tamed and sort of not like a sadder Bubsy, but like a
more
Bubsy that's just
mature, older
confused
Bubsy.
why things are happening to him.
Anyway, yeah, I could see Rodney Dangerfield in this, and I've seen some, like, they've released like some actual gameplay footage, and it does actually look like a good 3D platformer. So fingers
It
crossed.
looks like it's not a Bubsy game, but it just has Bubsy
Yeah.
in it. It's like,
I mean,
okay,
it at least has some Bubsy moves, like he can climb, he can glide. I don't know why Bobcats can glide, but that's a move from like his original game.
oh yeah, because in the original game, he was a platform hero who had significant fall damage to the degree where he would only really take he had no hit points. He could take one piece of damage to immediately die. So
I have actually played that game. It is not very good, and it's apparently the best one. And it's like, yeah, I think I've actually talked about it on here before. It's like, imagine Sonic, but there is no ring system. You just die.
I
And
don't
also
have
the
to.
level
I don't
design's a
have
lot
to
worse.
imagine that because the one Bubsy game that I actually did play for a brief period was Bubsy in Sonic 2, and I will tell you that was probably my best Bubsy experience. Not because like, hey, it's fun to play as Bubsy, but just mostly because hey, the levels and enemies actually make a degree of sense and have a bit of design to them. And if you know Sonic 2 well enough, you could probably navigate around reasonably, but you're going to have a hard time with this character who is very not built for a Sonic adventure and arguably was never built for the game that he was actively in.
Yeah. Anyway, Shigs, feel free to chime in with any thoughts.
Yeah, this is a lot of talk for a game that nobody's played yet. I've seen some video of people playing it. It looks like there's like some skilled players can get through the different jumps and everything in a different way. Kind of like it looks like a more amateur, 3D type game. I don't know.
I think the hubbub is just the audacity of it.
But anyway, the developer is
if Atari's got it, and it's and it's retro, Atari's going to put something out because that's what they do. They take everything, all the old properties they own, even if they never made them before. They'll make a game out of it.
But the developers Fabraz, they're behind Demon Turf and Demon Tide. The second one is upcoming. So they've been around the block on 3D platformers a bit. In any case, so I guess wanted to talk about Bubsy at some point during this. So let's move on to
our
actual...
Bubsy quota has been fulfilled. We may move forward with clear conscience.
Yes.
Thank you for coming for listening to Bubsy talk.
Well, let's move on to the actual show, which is starting with another thing that isn't Sonic, of course, because that is our structure. Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Hey,
Which,
heads up, this is going to be spoiler talk.
oh, yeah,
If you
yeah.
are watching the Twitch version, you will be able to see on screen that we have some, like, we have overlay stuff to tell you when we will be moving off of the topic so that you can jump back in whenever we are done with the topic. If you are on YouTube, this should be timestamped so you can skip ahead if you want.
And I'm just going to start with the biggest spoiler. Okay, so it's up. We're good. Okay. All right. So King K. Rool is in the game, and I'm very happy about that.
That's one thing nobody was spoiled on. I'm very happy.
Like, I remember all those people who were like grasping at straws of King K. The game because of these thorns that look a little bit like his claws, or because there's this missing area in the cutscene where, like, you know how they like will remove things from cutscenes to not spoil things in the trailer, which is a thing. But like the one thing people picked up on, which
You
ended
see,
up
they couldn't tell us about Pauline because you see the leak for Pauline was the false flag operation to make sure that we didn't notice that the other thing was coming at the end.
Yeah.
They
But,
put gold bananas in the water supply so you don't know.
But the one thing that people picked up on and ended up being like I don't know what the term would be, the evidence is the dragon skeletons in those, is the crocodile skeletons in those enemies.
Which
Which,
Yeah, I
which
thought they were just like
those were
dinosaurs, dinosaur
kremlins.
skeletons. I did not
Apparently.
realize they were crocodile skeletons.
I mean, unless you would know, like they're just like lizard skeletons of some sort. Like you wouldn't necessarily have a good sense of like, that's supposed to be that. Although it's not necessarily that he was the bad guy. I think the nostalgia hit for me was getting to that part of the level and having the sound effects be that
Yes.
authentic.
The Kremlin sound effects, the vulture sound effects, like all of the enemies have their Donkey Kong Country sound effects. It's like, oh my god, is like when I killed one of the flying enemies, I didn't even see what it was, but I heard the condor cry.
Yeah,
like,
the sound of Neki.
Is that I know that's from the game, and then I finally managed to like get one up close. It's like, oh right, the condors. And it's like, yeah, so like I'm going through the Planks core right now, and like all of a sudden, all of the enemies from the previous levels of the game are just Kremlins now. It's like I was like we were like fighting Kremlin zombies in most of the game, and now they're just here. And the thing I love most about this is not the nostalgia hit, but just seeing all of these different enemies realized in this game's style because they look great. Like this game, like it's already like really high fidelity 3D stuff. It looks gorgeous. Like seeing King K. Rool in this game's style was freaking amazing, and it's like
Character design all around is fantastic in this game.
Yes, and it's like they are
Yeah.
still recognizable. They were not changed significantly. They were just like altered to be in this game's style, and they just look so great.
But less what like the rare spin on them would have been, because the rare aesthetic for that has always been kind of grungy. Like and not just because of the age of it, but just because Rare kind of has that weird, off-putting aesthetic, and I say that somewhat affectionately, but you can see it in other things like Banjo-Kazooie, moving on to Nuts and Bolts.
I assume you mean like with the big bulging eyes and stuff?
Sometimes it's that. But just like, even if you look as recently as Sea of Thieves, like Sea of Thieves has this sort of grungy, still cartoony, but just like somewhat off style that feels consistent with Rare. Whereas they kind of changed K. Rool's like his aesthetics a little bit are much more in line with not necessarily what you would expect from a game coming from this Nintendo team, but certainly something that wouldn't be far removed from, like, the Brutals in Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. And everything looks like it fits a little better in the Mario universe.
I didn't notice a big difference in King K. Rool myself.
Well, they're subtle. It's like, I would say that all these redesigns have largely been subtle. Like, just enough...
Except for DK. DK is much more
No,
cartoony.
DK is the big redesign.
DK,
I suppose you could say Pauline as well, but...
DK, like, he still very much reminds me of Rare DK. It's just, now he's been given a much more expressive look, because, you know, DKC, Rare's DKC always looked kind of like a mindless beast, and that just wasn't going to work here.
Yeah, his almost reminds me of something akin to, like, Donkey Kong 94 for the Game Boy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But like certainly that. Yeah, like he looks like he has a soul behind those eyes. But like, I would say that other characters like Diddy Kong and Dixie and King K. Rool did not have that issue in the old games, and so like they required fewer changes to kind of meet the same standard.
Diddy weirds me out because Diddy no longer... They separated Diddy's eyes in a way that I find really off-putting. It's like... They're still so incredibly close together, but you can visibly see he has two separate eyes. It's like, what is going on here? Why did they change that aspect of design around him? It just looks strange now.
I don't know. When I saw it in the game, I didn't think twice about it. It's like, oh, he has two eyes now. I don't know.
It didn't really bother me at all.
Like, I think what might be weirdest about it is just how they like handle the color change in that division of his eyes. But I don't know.
Aside from like, hey, characters, things that happened, like how are you feeling about like the latter half of the game? Because I would like, for me, it wasn't until you get to the resort layer that I felt the game really started to actually pick up for me.
Well, as you know, I was having lots of fun with the first half, and so for me, the second half is just as fun. But the key difference is that there is now much more challenge to everything, and so it's like, okay, you've learned the mechanics. Now we're going to kick you constantly all of the time. And
I felt like that at that point, that's whenever they were really starting to introduce some new mechanics, and not mechanics of like things that DK could do, but mechanics of the ways that DK could interact with the various materials. Because
I loved the new kinds of ore that they introduced. Like,
yeah, you got the
cloud
rainbow cloud shooting stuff. You've got the switches that change one kind of thing to another kind of thing.
I really wish there was more of that. I really enjoyed that part.
There is. How much post game did you play, Shigs?
I've on the first trial of the Bananza trial, because I'm just really having a hard time with that. I mean, it's stage after stage just in the first one.
I consumed the game so fast that basically I got to the end, I was like, okay, I shotgunned this game. And then I was like, okay, I think I probably need to take a break. And most of what I've consumed ever since was like watching people do streams of some of the post-game stuff. But I did catch some of the rather difficult looking post-game Bananza challenge stuff.
Ooh. I'm happy to hear there's lots of post-game stuff, although I guess that's not unusual for the Mario Odyssey team.
Yeah, you haven't made it to the actual end of the game yet, Knuckles, have
No,
you?
I have not. I was trying to, but I just couldn't quite get there. I'm in layer
So
1600 right now, the planet
maybe we
core.
should not tell you where the final stage takes place at.
I mean, I know there's a city level.
Yeah.
Oh
No, I
yeah,
mean,
that's New Donk
you
City.
go to New Donk, some stuff happens in New Donk. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's final boss fight's pretty good, but it does kind of have a lot of the stuff. It's a lot of the stuff that you've been dealing with, but a little bit more hectic.
Nah.
It certainly feels like it's the weird power dynamic of it doesn't feel like a lot of the bosses in this game are hard, but it does feel like you take a lot of damage in the late half of the game.
Yeah, the last few have been really pushing me to my limits. There was this one that you needed to shine light on it in order to make it vulnerable and soft, and
Yeah.
that one nearly got me because I could not quite figure out how to get light to actually show on it. Like my first instinct was, okay, there's these lights at the corner of the room. I need to take a rock chunk, throw a rock chunk up there, and get some light chunks down here. But that doesn't work. Like this is one of the few times in the game where there are things that are breakable that you cannot break. And eventually I figure out, oh right, I need to use the snake Bananza to break the light sources. To break the covered light sources up top to get light all throughout the boss arena. But before then, I realized I decide, okay, I guess I need to just get the boss to get under these light sources somehow. And so that's how I deal half the damage to the damn thing. It's just getting it to jump into where it will be vulnerable. But yeah, the bosses do get trickier.
For sure, for
Um,
sure. I liked the stuff quite a lot in the specific snake areas, the way that they did start to play with the light mechanics and having enemies that could do things. And I'm specifically reminded of the crazy turf surfing section where you had to swap between light enemies and dark
oh God,
enemies to manage the path down so that
Oh yeah.
so that basically you opened up one version of the path, and then you had to switch to a dark enemy that could only be in shadows to take the other version of the path.
I also
That's the
yeah.
stuff I loved.
I also really enjoyed the burger level, which is
Oh yeah.
which really kind of felt like a final trial of all of the Bananzas, because they were each required to get through various challenges throughout it to assemble this gigantic burger.
I thought for sure that as soon as I got there and walked around for a little bit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet some lion people here. I was like, no,
No.
it's just it's run by the rock people.
For whatever reason, they hint at giraffes and lions being a thing, but they are gone. They don't explain why. There's no story about the lions left, or there was a great cataclysm and they went extinct.
I mean, it's very possible that they had ideas for that stuff and they just didn't make a final cut.
Or the lions became so obsessed with burgers that they made themselves into burgers and died. That would be very dark.
Okay, I don't know if that go that far. I am happy that they had some explanation of why there's a sun deep in the earth, and that
that was cool.
It's helped energize these crystals to make artificial suns. It's kind of cool.
But
I like when they touch up
that was
the
big
don't
revelation.
Really need to.
What now?
Yeah. So I like when they touch up with lore like that when they don't really need to,
Yeah, like that was the big revelation for me when we got to the snakes. When I was like, oh, so like that's what the artificial suns are. They're these gigantic light fixtures made out of this special orbs. Like there's this whole inter-layer economy going on here.
And
Um,
and yet we also have weather for some reason, like
yeah,
big
like
storms
just
under
underground
what?
weather.
I guess
Well,
underground
what didn't
cold
they
fronts and
explain
warm
with like
fronts.
the yeah? Didn't they explain the that the winter thing was like their air conditioners overdoing it?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Everything apparently runs on banana power, including their
or gold.
god.
Um, but it's also been like very interesting. Like as you get deeper into the core, like you encounter like the fractums kind of start to get stranger and stranger. Like you encounter these fractums that like are just like are just like having this constant music party going
Oh
on.
yeah.
Then you encounter like these ones that like are constantly telling you to just go away and get out.
When you get to the very bottom layer. So question. Did my uh, a joke that I stumbled into that made me cackle at this game and its stupid humor. Did you get to the grave?
Uh, grave.
The fun.
No, oh
You know
wait,
what?
yes,
I know
I
about this
encountered some
from
kind of grave,
it's
but
in
I
the
don't
voice chat,
remember
but I
it.
missed it. I
There's
missed that one part.
you get to the final rock where the explorer you've been following the whole time is like,
Oh,
here rests this rests the adventurous Fractone. And then if you dig underneath, it's like you find him. He is in this big library. It's like, hey, I'm just resting. I'll come out eventually.
I have not seen that gravestone yet. No, like I got to what I thought was the end, which was so like in the final layer he reaches he reaches fractones that can't talk, and he teaches them to talk and
Yeah.
decides to found a village there.
But it's just it's a joke so stupid. It's like, you MFers. You MFers. Of course, these things don't die. Like
Yeah, I've
they just
tried
need to
killing
live
them.
forever.
Uh, yeah. I did not see that. I don't know if I missed it or if it's just coming up pretty soon. But
No,
I'll keep an eye out for it.
it's like you'll find it has a banana in it, but it's just like it's such a stupid joke. It's like, yeah, of course. I should have known. I should have known you'd be pulling a joke like that. It's such a freaking stupid joke. Of course, it's like that. That actually does seem like the kind of joke that Rare would make.
But like in terms of gameplay, like I certainly like one nice thing about the more complex mechanics of the later levels like like yeah, it like makes you constantly rethink how you're doing everything. Like you can't just like you get to a point where you really have to do a lot of platforming. You can't just smash anymore. And every now and then like an old thing will come back and you have to use it in a new way, like those things that you smash down on and they'll like shatter rock, and like you gotta use that to get through a whole area of thorns. Then you get to one final one that's just like rotating slowly in a circle. You can like use that to clear out the entire area of thorns around it. It's like they're just constantly inventing and reinventing like existing mechanics and stuff. It's just so cool.
It is. I still feel kind of disappointed with a lot of the transformations. Like I said, I think there's only two that are actually useful, although I get like maybe having the special dedicated sections to some of the other ones as kind of being fun, but outside of those really specific contexts, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like having the Kong banana. Like, is there any time that you can think of where you really used anything but the Kong Bonanza or the Elephant Bonanza?
Okay, so
Well, zebra
recently
you had to use for fragile bridges and stuff.
Sure,
So
but I mean, like, aside from like
context
dedicated, where
sensitive.
you have to use this for now.
in the latter
No,
parts of the
because
levels, I was using in the last couple of levels, I was using the ostrich to get out to further platforms I had no other means of reaching, and
if you have enough jumping skill on how to roll, do a clap, then roll again, and you can get pretty far without using the ostrich. You'd be surprised.
This, the game takes the trademark Donkey Kong Country roll, which is to say, in Donkey Kong Country, if you roll off a ledge, you can jump immediately out of a roll, so that you get like this extended midair jump. But yeah.
But to answer your question, so I was using the ostrich emoji to ostrich Bananza to reach distant platforms and make certain platforming bits easier for me, and I've been using the snake emoji for when like jumping up or climbing up.
I love how your slip of the tongue is calling them emoji every single time.
Okay, and I use the snake Bananza when like it's more difficult for me to get to like climb up something. They're pretty decently useful for just exploration of an area. When like your standard moveset can't really cut it. So
I do like how the
I have
music
been using those, but not the zebra. Zebra I have not touched outside of the cheese challenge.
Yeah, I do kind of like how the music for the Bananzas, even though it's gibberish, the beat of them fits each Bananza pretty good. Like the elephant's got kind of a stomp feeling to it. It's round, round, round about. It's just got this. And zebra's little Spanish kind of sound music to it.
Just
Oh, I
saying
really like
zebra over and over again.
And I really like the Pauline song that we got
I
for
just
when
wonder
K-Will
why
came out.
they bothered with having all of her dialogue in English and every other language, but when it came to the music, the music decided to be gibberish.
I mean, it would probably be more distracting if it had like literal English lyrics. I also imagine like in universe you could argue that there's like it's funny, you can really tell that even though Pauline has an English voice actor in the English version of the game, every other character is definitely voiced by a Japanese voice actor. You can really tell.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah. I might ask us to push forward. Please.
Yeah.
We're getting
yeah.
This does feel like a good place to move on.
Anyway, I was gonna say, and I know GX doesn't care for this, but I'm no longer confused about the whole, young Pauline thing. That this does feel, in my head canon anyway, this does feel like it's a prequel that, maybe a sequel to Donkey Kong Country 3 in between like that and Mario
Then
vs. Donkey Kong.
explain to me how old Diddy Kong is.
No, I'm saying like probably not too far after Diddy Kong. I mean, maybe Donkey Kong Country 2 or what have you. Plus, I realized in Smash Brothers, the original Pauline, they started calling Lady. Like in the when you're in New Donk City, there's billboards, and one of them says "Lady and the Beast" or "Lady and the Ape" and such. But Pauline talks a lot about her grandma on that, and I'm having a strong feeling that Lady is her grandma more than likely. So you can say if you're care about headcanon first timeline,
I'm getting other M
young
flashbacks
Pauline
over
is
here with you
also
constantly saying "lady."
Okay, so my personal theory, which I will see if this holds up once I reach the ending, is that this actually takes place in the future. Grandma is the Pauline from Odyssey, and like Diddy Kong existing in like Mario Kart and stuff is just an anachronism, like Baby Mario is. But I don't know. Like once I beat the game, I'm probably going to bring it up in the next episode. But regardless, I do want to move on because
I
I have been
desperately don't
playing.
want to tell you anything at this point.
I have been playing another Switch 2 game that also uses voxels in its environment. Um, and it's part of the reason why I did not beat Donkey Kong Bonanza already. No Man's Sky for the Switch 2, which I got on sale a few weeks ago. Um, and this is a game that I bought originally on like the PS4, like back when it came out. I played for a few hours. I eventually got a little bored because I was mostly in for the flight sim elements, and that was not as much of the game as I was hoping for, and so I guess kind of moved on.
Yeah, I'm
And
kind of curious on what you think of this because
and
I didn't buy it when it was on sale, but I was tempted, but I just didn't bother.
now coming back to it years later, it is now a completely different game.
Oh,
Like
sure is.
it might as well just be a sequel at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, like, the people who have been following this game for so long are at the point now where it's just like, we give you money for all of the updates that you can actually charge us for some of these updates. Like, it's fine, but
They genuinely could.
I think they are to some degree working on whatever the next game is to a degree, but and then just my understanding is they are working on stuff for the next game, but in the process they are kind of using the original as, like, I don't know, a sounding board, or like just attempting to being like, oh, we could implement it in the other game. It's like, oh, let's do that first, and then I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Cyberpunk 2077, which started out, horrible, glitchy, kind of rushed to market, but they kept working on it, kept doing
That is
updates,
also very good on Switch too.
and now it's exactly where their original idea for it finally,
But like
landed.
No Man's Sky, as it is now, definitely feels like it lives up to the promise of what it was supposed to be back in
Yeah,
like
that's kind of what I'm
2016.
saying. Both of those
Because
live up to their
like
promise.
the game is just breathtaking. Just absolutely breathtaking. Like the very first planet I landed, I was on. It was like it was this kind of barely hospitable world that was like stuff that will occasionally suffer from like firestorms, and it was covered in red grass and had these floating islands like dotting the entire landscape, and like the plan itself was just gorgeous. And eventually, like, I was able to like get my ship going, and before I could go anywhere, I had to like build a base. And I built a base on one of the islands, which was very inconvenient, but it looked cool, so I don't mind. um, and like, and from there, like, like when I finally got to explore the larger, the more planets and more, and move on to another solar system and stuff, it is an extremely effective um simulation of space exploration, albeit like there are no gas giants, at least not so far.
I'm at least
Every
curious, are there still things left to discover? Because a big part of the pitch was like, discover these
Yes.
planets and name things on it. And
I mean, the game is procedurally generated.
right.
Every single person, like, they are placed in a different part of the universe where like that has not been seen by anyone else, and so like as you go, you will just explore basically every single thing you get to. Like I have yet to encounter another player outside of the designated multiplayer areas.
Okay.
Which is something that did not exist back when I first played it.
Right.
But like,
That was literally the controversy at launch, was like, oh, the universe is so big that you'll never encounter another player, and people just want to insist, like, okay, is it a simultaneous multiplayer game. And then once people were able to figure out, like, 2 people go to the same spot and not see each other, people were able to confirm, like, no, this isn't actually an online multiplayer game in the way that people
the game
want it
does
to be,
now facilitate
Yeah.
like direct cooperative multiplayer. There is like a whole aspect of the game now that you can go to. I forget exactly what it's called. Oh yeah, it's called the Anomaly, which is like this big space station that you can go to and play. And once you go in, like players are just there, and from there you can like take on missions with other players if you want to, which I don't. Like you can play this as single player as you want or as multiplayer as you want. But like after I did that, like I could also like just freely travel to the bases of other players, which was also cool. um, so like it can be as multiplayer or single player as you want it to be. But probably like what is most impressive to me is just how handcrafted the planets can feel. Like my favorite planet so far I encountered in just the second system. I've been naming all of the planets after Sonic characters. The first system I named after characters from the Archie Comics Brotherhood because I felt like it, and because a lot of them are like named after like philosophers and stuff, so it kind of works on like 2 levels. But for the second area, I just like named them all after chaotics, and for SBO, it's a purple planet with bioluminescent vegetation, including like the grass is purple and bioluminescent, and at night, like it will like glow in like these waves, like these waves of glowiness will just spread across the grassy fields off into the distance. And like everything else will pulsate with it.
To complete the scene, since this is the audio podcast, I am just sitting here, head in hands, rubbing my temples right now at how friggin' goddamn dorky that is.
It is very.
Oh my god!
Look! I do not I am not role playing. I do not take that aspect of the game seriously at all. Like you have to discover the planet in order to get nanites for it, which you need for like technology research. And so if I've got to do that, then I'm just going to name it what I feel like. And it's like, you know what? This is a purple planet. SBO. This whole system is now chaotics themed. It is the chaotic system. Congratulations. Like my bases.
Think of a couple reasons.
Like my bases, I put more work into the location than the actual bases, because like my actual bases are like one building that has 4 square walls and a roof, and then it's like the core things that I need to have that base function, which is like a computer.
I will say, out of context, the SBO system doesn't sound too unusual.
No, it's the chaotic system. SBO is a planet. The purple planet that I was talking about.
Nobody goes to the Charmy Bee planet. Someone did once, and they did not return.
The Mighty planet is like very acidic and like barely habitable. And Vector's planet, I think that's just like an ice world.
So does the heavy planet just have way too much gravity?
Oh no, there were not enough planets to like do all the chaotics. So I just did Charmy, SBO, Mighty, and Ray. But anyway, but nevertheless, I tried to put some effort into at least where I put my bases. So like, you know, I put one base on a floating island. I call that High Point 1. Then I like dug out a mountain for my second base. I called that Low Point 1. And then like for my third base, I just found an alien base, and I just like put a base next to it. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna use their facilities, but I'm just gonna put this here so I can easily find it in the future. And like I called it like
so
something
colonist.
like I'm a moocher. But like, yeah, and like this world feels so goddamn alive because there are multiple alien races. They all speak their own unique languages that you can slowly decipher over the course of the game by finding these alien archives. Like every single one teaches you one word, and over time you can decipher their language and figure out what they're saying. And
Garfield could use something like that. It's just everybody's like humanoid speaking English.
but there is just this is a very high concept game. And that like I did not appreciate back in 2016. Like it really, like core to this game really is just the idea of exploration, the beauty of it, the beauty of the universe. It is a fairly optimistic game. Like the only enemies I've really encountered so far have been the Sentinels, which are like these automated robots that
Basically, it sounds like they only bother you if you bother them. And
oh
if you
they will bother me if I do certain other things. Like I wanted to get access this base, and so like but it was locked down, and so I broke the door down, and then all the sentinels started attacking me. I got into this whole thing. with
yeah,
them.
it sounds like the cops in GTA or something.
And I did also encounter some Pyrex ones. So there are Pyrex. But like, by and large, the aliens are ambivalent to friendly towards you. So that's cool. Like this is just a really cool game, and I highly recommend it if you are like if just the idea of a space sim of a space game focused on exploration and space combat and like
I
resource gathering sounds interesting to
I
you.
have had it on PC for years and am terrified to start it.
I really want to get back to it like once I'm done with Bananza, but we'll see because I have other games I want to play. In any case, let's move on to you, GX.
Sure, I'll try to be fairly quick about these. So I've been playing two games that came out pretty recently, very cheap, small, somewhat short games. First one, you probably saw this in two of the recent Nintendo presentations. Most recently, one of the Indie Worlds where it got a shadow drop. It's called Is This Seat Taken? And Is This Seat Taken is a puzzle game. Best I would describe it is if you've ever experienced like one of the brain teasers where it's like, person A doesn't want to sit next to person B, but does want to sit on the end. And person C wants to sit next to person A. And person B wants to be exactly in the middle. And you have to kind of logic through like, okay, where do you put every person? It's an entire game of that.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think that was on the indie showcase.
So you'll get like a scenario like, hey, it's a bus full of seats. And you'll have these sort of anthropomorphic shape people that all have various criteria for how they want to be seated. Whether it be like, I want to sit near the window, or I want to have a quiet area where I can read a book, or I need to sit next to my parent, and it indicates. And your goal is to try to kind of slot them into spaces where it fulfills all of their requirements. And you get to know their requirements through both a little bit of iconography on them. So the first quality of a shape that you will encounter is that they are stinky. There are a lot of shapes in this game that just do not shower. And a lot of shapes whose preferences on their cards just indicate that, like, I do not like bad odors. So they, like, if you put a shape in a spot, and then you put another shape that is incompatible with it, the other shape makes very, very clear that they are upset through dialogue boxes and just facial expressions of, like, just curling up their face in weird ways. And it's... I think what I ran into with it is what I run into with a lot of these sort of abstract singular puzzle games, which is to say, I played it for a while. I kind of felt like, okay, I get the idea of what this game's trying to do. It gets pretty complicated with other things, like some shapes now play loud music. Some shapes are wearing too much cologne. Some shapes are, I don't know, they just want to sleep, which means you need to have things quiet around them. Some shapes want to talk, so you have to pair them up with another shape that also wants to talk so that they are together. But if you do, they make noise. And it just felt like there was a point where I got enough of what it was doing that I felt like it just introducing more variables into the equation wasn't going to be especially interesting. And I got there about, like, I'm going to say 3 hours in. Like, so I feel like, hey, I put enough time into this game to get a sense of, like, would I want to continue this or would I not? If you think it might be your thing, it's not too expensive. I think it's only like $10 or something. So it's a very
that does sound like
affordable
something I'd enjoy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's the kind of it's the kind of thing where it doesn't punish you for just trying to move things around and figure things out. In the same way that, like, a jigsaw puzzle might be entertaining. I think what I was just running into is I did not find the actual solutions themselves satisfying in the way that I would find a jigsaw puzzle or like a Picross puzzle or something from like maybe a Sudoku. Not as much as Sudoku. I'm not that engaged with Sudoku. It just felt like it didn't feel like I was moving towards something. It felt like I was just moving towards, okay, nobody's unhappy. That's the end of this portion of the stage. I will move on to the next portion of the stage. It's going to change some things, like, okay, now I just have to find equilibrium here. And
there should be some alternate mode where you're trying to maximize misery.
It wouldn't surprise, like it wouldn't entirely surprise me if there's something like that in this game, but I did not make it to the end. I just got to a point where I was like, I think I got everything I'm gonna get out of this. It felt like it was gonna hit some of the same brain chemicals that I enjoyed in Wilmot Works It Out, which is literally just a game about completing picture puzzles in a jigsaw-like fashion. And my takeaway from was like, yeah, I think I ran out of steam on this a lot earlier than I hoped to. It has like, I don't want to pretend like it doesn't have personality. It has personality. Like, it's sort of weaving a little bit of a story here with, like, hey, there's this one shape that you meet, and they are interested in being a movie star, so they're trying to go track down this other star and ask them about things, and then they meet the star and things weren't what they expected, and then how are we going to move forward from there? And, it's light, it's okay, it just didn't really, like, it just didn't grab me. It's not that there's something, like, dramatically wrong with the game. It's just, like, it didn't feel like it was going to change in ways that I found interesting, and it was just going to be like, hey, more complex versions of this same sort of logic, and I was looking for something a little different, and I got something a little different in another game, which I actually have enjoyed quite a bit, and has hit me in the big variety of things that I want to experience, and it's called Strange Jigsaws. Strange Jigsaws is a game by a group that made something else I played previously called 20 Small Mazes. And 20 Small Mazes was a really cool little free application that was bizarre and kind of experimental, where it's not really about solving mazes. It just uses mazes as the language to go through a bunch of other unusual puzzles. And Strange Jigsaws is very similar. I think it's only like $5, $6, $7. It's very inexpensive, and I was happy to pay it just because, like, hey, they gave me a lot of fun experiences in 20 Small Mazes. Like, let me give you money for this. But I've been pretty satisfied with Strange Jigsaws. It feels like the kind of game that I'm probably going to wrap up in like 1 or 2 sessions. I have made it to a puzzle that I think is going to take me a while to really sift through, but a lot of it is just you go into a puzzle. It uses the language of jigsaw puzzles, but almost nothing in it is actually a jigsaw puzzle. It's moving things around. It's trying to decipher what each puzzle is asking you to do and just trying to figure out, like, okay, how do you manage it? One of the first ones that I encountered isn't even a jigsaw puzzle. It's this strange puzzle where it's like, hey, this panel is on fire. Put out all the fires with ice blocks, and it gives you a couple ice blocks to work with, and you have to use some extra lateral thinking to figure out how to solve that one. It's not as simple as you would imagine, but at the same time, it tends to throw like 2 or 3 things at you, so if you don't want to work on one thing, you can work on a different thing. There was one portion of it where it just felt like I was going through this point-and-click adventure style segment where I was getting these items and figuring out where within this cube-shaped room I had to use other items, and I was pressing a button to effectively turn the entire viewport into a jigsaw puzzle so that I could go in and figure out, like, okay, if I rearrange the room this way, I can now twist the room 90 degrees this other direction. There's a computer puzzle where it's like you have to fulfill burger orders. And now you're getting into the point where it's like, is this seat taken? Where it's like, okay, for this burger order, the meat has to go on top of the cheese, and the cheese has to be at the bottom, but the lettuce and the tomato cannot be touching, and you're just arranging these puzzle pieces of burger components to make the correct burger, and it's just this strange set of lateral thinking puzzles that all sort of, just like I said, use Jigsaw as a visual language rather in a thematic tie together rather than simply being about completing Jigsaw puzzles. I give it a recommend. It's cheap, it's short. If you like lateral thinking puzzles, you'll probably have a good time with it. And if you're not sure about even spending the $5, go check out 20 Small Mazes. 20 Small Mazes is fantastic. It's free.
I'll think about it. All right, Shigs, you've been quiet. Of course, I've also been quiet, but
well, I've never played either of those games. I know of it's this seat. Is this seat shaken? I never heard of Strange Jigsaws.
But you have played the Mina the Hallower demo.
Yeah, from the Nintendo's Indie Showcase about a month back. From the people who do the Hollow Knight games. I think you just had it.
No. This is from the people who did Shovel Knight.
Well, Shovel Knight. I don't know why I said Hollow Knight. Shovel Knight. Pardon me. The Shovel Knight games. So the best way to describe it is take the Zelda games that were on the Game Boy Color and add Castlevania, the 8-bit Castlevania to that. But the Zelda, as far as the top-down view of it, having kind of an RPG feel, but it's more action-based. And it's kind of a mix of those, and that is done really well. The demo's pretty long. You'll be playing with it for about an hour to 2 hours. There's a pretty long length to it. So basically, you're this mouse who's about human-sized. You have a shipwright who's a human who's about the same size as you. So you're going to this village to help out because there's an attack about to happen, and you start with a choice of 3 different weapons. You can get a one of those whip maces, a whip chain with the mace at the end, so it's a lot more like Castlevania that way. A 2-handed like short swords, kind of like 2-handed daggers, and a third one I believe was an axe, where if you hold it down, you can get a good range with it. I went for the mason chain because I wanted that Castlevania feel, while at the same time kind of having a Zelda feel to it, and it works really good for that. You're at areas where you have to jump over certain obstacles to get to the next area, and there's also, just like Castlevania, you can whip candles to find items, or whip through and attack grass to find stuff in there, similar to Zelda. It's this really nice mix. Your main ability is with hollowing, or just burrowing, basically. You hold down jump, and Mina will jump into the ground, burrow out, and you can go either under a boulder to lift up the boulder, and you can toss it at the enemies, or you can use it to access a different area that's normally blocked off from your jumps.
Interesting. Does it show you a different view for being underground, or is it just like you just have a sprite indicating that you're underground?
You just have a little sprite that indicates that you're underground, like a little shadow.
Okay, I was curious if we were moving into Nintendo's Mole Mania territory.
No. The one problem I think I will have is it's kind of hard to tell what's an area you can burrow under and what's an area you can jump over. They're not too specific, especially for burrowing. There's areas where there's like might be an iron, not an iron gate, but like a little wall to an iron gate, and then can't be done. But if you have just a regular iron fence, then you can burrow under it. There is some skill involved. There's parts where you have to take a long jump, so the only way to do that is to burrow and then launch off your burrowing to hit the next platform. And so that can be tricky. The game's got several different areas where if you die, checkpoints where you can start off again. But I feel kind of spread out, like you have to go several screens in. You can be several screens in and die, and you have to go way back a little bit. Kind of reminds me of the more old school difficulty. But I did beat the demo. There's 2 main bosses near the end. If anybody needs tips, the best way to do that is if you've got that's something I forgot to mention. Like Castlevania, you also got a second weapon. You can either have an axe that you can throw from a distance, and when it hits, it does more damage. It's almost like a grenade kind of thing. Or you have a knife that's similar to a boomerang, where it'll go and come back. So it's it's so very both Zelda and Castlevania mixed together. That's just perfect in that respect.
How do you feel about
the bosses?
How do you feel about the difficulty? Because that's kind of the weird part. Is like it looks like it would be pretty challenging.
It is challenging, especially since this is early on in the game. That's the one thing that worries me. Is I was challenged pretty hard at certain spots. I did manage to beat the demo, but it does get pretty tough when it comes to bosses. I'll say you could stick and move, since you can burrow. When you burrow, you're a lot faster than when you're just walking on land. So if you've got like the axe, and your guy wants to charge at you, can throw the axe towards him. The axe, when it hits, has a nice big range. In the meantime, you can burrow so you can dodge him and dodge his attacks while either throwing your axe or your like boomerang knife thing. And so there's a lot of stick and move that way. But I will say it's difficult but with practice you do get better and better. I am interested in purchasing this depending on the price. If you like something that's got a 8-bit old school that's challenging, I think I'd recommend this one.
I mean, I absolutely adore Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is
I love Shovel Knight.
such a fantastic
I'm not so sure
game.
about this.
Have you tried the demo?
I have
Alex?
not yet. No.
I would recommend checking it out.
I will eventually, but at the moment, I'm just I got other things.
Anyway, also because of my Game Pass, I'm finally playing Expedition 33, the one that everybody's talking about. and it's pretty good. I don't think it deserves quite the hype it's getting, but it
The
does
stu-
have a Pardon me?
the stuff people really like about it, like the thing that people are really hitting with is once you get like a really solid groove in that game with building up your characters and your team, you can build like completely ridiculous teams.
Yeah, I'm not that far into it. I'd say I'm only about 3 hours in
I
right
really want
now.
to give that game a try because I've heard great
It's this
things
game
about it.
where, I'm in between my everyday games where I have to play a certain amount to level up to a certain areas like Disney Speedstorm and Fortnite. I do jump in and play this for about half an hour to an hour at each time. I do like the story. I mean, you got this giant like witch lady across the island from where your people are. I'm mentioning this is happening all over the world, and for the last like 50 to 60 years, she's been writing. She erases one number, writes down the next one in chronological order, going from like age 99 on down, and each person of that year dies. They just get Thanos turned into dust and leaves.
Hmm.
And so the main character is saying goodbye to his ex-girlfriend who he wishes he spent more time with and everything. And she's 33 and 30, and it says 34 on the hill. It's about to change because it takes place at the exact same time every year. And so it's 33 and then they die. So what happens is there tends to be an exhibition of sorry, not exhibition, expedition, pardon me,
Yeah.
of people who are of the next age who are like, okay, I can either wait to die a year, or I could fight this and go to the island, explore it, find out how this is happening, see if I can either get back and report how this is happening, or at least and maybe possibly fight it off and end it there. I mean, if you're in that situation, I probably do the same thing. I'm like, I can either wait to die or I can, fight for it. So why not? So that's what's happening here. Pretty much everybody on the expedition is either 32 or a little younger. And but as soon as you hit land, you find this one guy who's like from Expedition 69 who somehow is still alive, but he's possessed or something. He just straight up attacks you. The demons come and everything, and the whole party gets scattered. The boat gets wrecked, and so now you and another companion that I've only met up with one companion so far are going out for it and attacking monsters in a very Super Mario RPG style where you're doing a lot of timing. And I really like this way of turn-based RPG action. This is done really well where if you if you can nail the timing this right, you can either dodge with the like B button and take no damage, or if you're really good, you can counter and hit back and do massive damage to the enemy back, which is
Yeah.
really
Sounds like a
well
Paper
done.
Mario-esque system.
Yeah, Paper Mario-esque system, but went done really well. Also, at the sacrifice of some of your higher skills, you can also start your attack by using your gun to shoot at weak points and do damage there. But when you do that, I believe it lowers your skill points to do your main extra skills. So it's kind of a tit for tat on there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just doing normal attacks. But you can also time those. If you use skill, there's a little circle thing with the arrow, and if you time it just right, you can get your attack stronger and stronger. And the bizarre enemies all have different like attack animations, so getting used to how they work can be difficult. But I found myself enjoying this so far. There are different levels of difficulty, so it shouldn't be too hard for everybody if you want to just do story. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. It's not captivating me too much, but who knows? I don't know if this is something I'm going to see to the end, but I'm going to keep playing.
I've heard they're French.
I think it was a French studio. It does feel very French when you're playing it.
So, before we move on, GX, what were you saying?
Nah, don't worry about it.
Okay. So, moving on to the main show. Paris Hilton is getting a new anime series called Paris and
BS, get out of Roblox.
It's coming to YouTube.
No. You got your Bubsy topic in. No. We're going to Roblox.
Anyway, the actual show. So, starting off with, I still disagree this is mobile news, but Lego Sonic comes to Sonic Speak Simulator, but not like Lego Sonic the brand. And so we've got Lego Sonic, Lego Tails, Metal Sonic, Lego Shadow, and a Lego Egg Crusher that you can apparently use. So we have a whole bunch of footage from this event on our YouTube. I've not actually played myself. None of us play Sonic Speak Simulators, as we've said before. But Phelan and Ryan from Sonic Stadium have. And from what I can gather from what they've said, this is a very grindy, very boring event where you just have to, like... The event seems to have come in two parts, where the first part you just, like, have to do these missions in this brick hill zone over and over again.
Event being grindy? Who knew?
Well,
like,
I mean, it sounds like that's a lot of what's been going on over the past several years with this game. I mean, it began in
grindy by Speak Simulator standards.
Yeah, I mean, like it started as incredibly grindy. That, like, grinding through currencies and whatever was the thing that you do in it. But it just felt like, hey, if you are the kind of person who plays this game in order to collect skins and characters, that they very much would like you to continue grinding or paying money. Please pay money.
Like, I will say that the models do look kind of nice for Roblox. But beyond that, I don't know. Like, I still have no inclination to actually go back to this. But yeah, so apparently the mission's very grindy, but you've got to complete them in Brick Hill Zone, and once you've done that enough, you can unlock Lego Sonic and Lego Tails. That was the first half of the event. The second half of the event, which we do not currently have too much footage for, we have a little bit, although it's not live yet. It will be soon. But apparently, the main centerpiece of that are Metal Sonic and Shadow. And to unlock them, you have to play an egg crusher minigame over and over again. According to Ryan, it had to be like he's going to need to do it like 40 times to actually unlock everything. But once you've done that, you get those characters, plus you get the egg crusher as a mount that you can use anywhere in the game. So, yeah, like, I guess they're making the most of their Lego license still.
I don't think there is any property that would convince me to do that. There is not, like...
No.
There is nothing that I can think of that I love that would make me behave in that manner. I have largely sworn off like these kind of service-based games for a lot of that reason. That it's like, hey, you know, what if we manipulate your behavior so that you would constantly be on this treadmill?
I am perfectly capable of grinding out for Sonic Forces and Sonic Dash. Like, Sonic Dash, I genuinely just have a lot of fun with. And Sonic Forces, I don't know, it depends.
I have played enough hours of both Sonic Forces and Sonic Dash to be like, yeah, I got everything out of those games. There's very little that they can introduce to make me feel interested in them again.
Speak Simulator's core game mechanic did not grab me back in 2022, and hearing about how you have to unlock stuff now, I'm like, nah. Like, that just sounds like what I was doing before, but worse. But I do appreciate Ryan and Phelan for getting this stuff, for covering this stuff for us. They haven't touched it for a while. They're giving this kind of a test run with the Lego event because Lego is fairly big, and so it would be good to get stuff from that onto the site and our socials and stuff. So we'll see where that goes. Now, the mobile game I'm more interested in is Sonic Dream Team, and that also got an update, which added a couple more costumes to the game, specifically Idol Shadow and Drummer Cream. So, they're continuing to add kind of like the personas from the various Sonic mobile games, but and they look nice. It's cool seeing Shadow in his Idol outfit and everything's kind of funny. But the big change that they introduced, well, okay, two big changes, but the one I want to talk about first is the costumes will now appear in the game's cutscenes, which is hilarious. This is the first time we have seen these costumes used in this way, and it is just so weird. Because it's we just got Sonic in a pirate outfit, doing his usual Sonic heroic shtick, fighting Eggman and stuff. And for the final boss, which I put a recording for that on the YouTubes. You have everyone dressed up like they were waylaid on their way to a Halloween party, just facing down Eggman in the big final confrontation of this game, and it is just I really do appreciate the change. So in addition to that,
it's interesting that it tells us that the cutscenes are actually rendered rather than pre-rendered, which it would have probably been easier if they just pre-rendered them.
I had assumed that at the very least the still frame cutscenes were pre-rendered.
Yeah.
But no, they use the in-game models. So that's impressive.
I'm really surprised with that.
So in addition to that, they've also added one big quality of life improvement that I've been waiting for. And that is that you now no longer have to you can now get the Tails Challenge experience points throughout adventure mode, which is such a relief because before now, to unlock rewards in Tails Challenge, you had to grind the Tails Challenge missions, which you could get a maximum of 200 points out of that a day. You could get, I think, 125 by just completing all 3 missions, and then another 75 points by S-ranking them. Which, if you're trying to get things quickly like I am for the site, is just hugely inconvenient. But now all of this has been streamlined because it not only gives you back points from completing adventure mode, you can now replay those adventure mode missions to get even more experience points. So you can just grind out as much as you want in the main campaign now. And I now have too many points. I was able to get these new updates just like that. So that's gonna be super convenient for people who have been struggling to unlock all this stuff before. If you've completed the campaign, chances are you can unlock a lot of this stuff now, if not everything. So yeah, that's the new Dream Team update. So moving on to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds.
Hey,
news.
guess what we have a lot of news of?
Yeah, really.
Yes. They have been basically revealing a new track every few days, I want to say. They have been showing us basically everything from the base game at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it has been interesting seeing just the breadth of the Sonic games referenced here. We've got original levels, like Dodonpa Factory and Golden Temple. But then we've also had brand new levels. Then we also have levels from previous Sonic games that have never been in a racer before. Like Sweet Mountain from Sonic Colors, the Cyberspace City level, Kronos Island like Space from Shadow Generations, and like just the North Star Islands, period, from Sonic Superstars, because like it seems like you can see multiple locations in the screenshots and video that they've released. Like you
I
can
think
see Bridge
Sonic
Island.
Unleashed has like 3 tracks alone.
Yeah, Sonic Unleashed. Like they've got Spagonia, which of course that was in Team Sonic Racing. They've got Holoska. They've got Apatos. like they've got a lot of Unleashed content in here,
And
and
like even
like
some of the stuff that is returning has been significantly changed.
yeah, I'm trying to think
Market
of what
Street.
one of the return. Yeah, Market Street. That's actually one of the ones I didn't. That's actually one of the ones I don't remember. So why don't you lead us on that?
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna go over everything in it, but like compared to the original version of Market Street, you can tell it's visually different. The layouts are changed a bit. Obviously, hey, we haven't had a full run through, so we can't do a real one-to-one comparison, but there's definitely places where you can tell it's like, hey, things have changed. There is apparently warp rings in this, which I mean, hey, I have not played this game at all. Full stop, period. And everyone was very inclined to say, like, no, warp rings were there. Warp rings, people talking about the warp rings being there, and then the one stage is like, okay, well, they haven't used them in any official media in any way, but sure, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, it looks like the stuff that's there. They have made modifications. The new stuff looks fantastic. I would say if I have concerns, I am really hoping that they don't put limits on the PC frame rate because
oh right, the background elements are still limited frame rate, which I was hoping that was going to be like something that they would iron out before release, but we're
Yeah.
still seeing it.
I mean,
in like
it could be it could be console specific. I doubt we're looking. I doubt the footage that they're using is from Switch, like that.
yeah.
Like I would imagine.
Generally, they use PS5 as their lead platform, so I would think that would be the base.
Yeah,
Basis
I'm
of
just
everything.
hoping because it is pretty noticeable in some of the trailers of like, yeah, some of these things are, you know, like, hey, you can tell whenever a crowd is just made out of flat textures in the same way that they often were in like the Mario and Sonic games. And then you can really tell whenever background items are only
Like
rendering
one
at
thing
half
that's
frame rate.
really easy to tell, like if anyone wants an example, is that in the new trailer, that they released today, we can see the boss from Bridge Island jumping into the air, and it's like running at like what 10 frames a second or something. Like you can see the frames.
It's something small like that. It almost I don't know if I would say 10 frames, but I would say maybe 20 frames is a good estimation.
All right, but I don't know, like I can tell. But like, but aside from that, like the stages do look pretty cool from what little we've seen. Like that Xiao amusement park. That looks neat.
Yeah,
Uh,
it looks good. They have stuffed this game with things. An impressive number of things that that continues to surprise.
and I'm just really happy that we have like a stage from each of the last few Sonic games, because I was a little afraid that they were going to be like reusing a lot of stuff from the
I'm
Sumo
happy that
Digital games.
like I'm just happy of a lot of the original stuff. Like to me the original stuff looks more interesting and cooler than like, oh, we reproduce a Patos in a racetrack format that you could do. It's like, I mean, yeah, that's kind of neat that you did that.
They have come up with some pretty unique locations, like
Yeah,
Golden Temple. Like
yeah,
that is like just this fancy golden structure that has
Right.
like these big golden balls rolling down the tracks, and like there's this big sun in the sky that's like in the middle of an eclipse. Like it has this really cool look to it. Um, I know some people were saying it was like that one location from Sonic Chronicles, but like I thought
That's trying
they were
too hard.
really,
Sega
yeah, they were really stretching.
has really no reason to go back to Sonic Chronicles and remind you
No.
that it existed.
Unfortunately.
Not that unfortunately. I played
Oh,
enough of Sonic Chronicles.
I think everything should be referenced. You know that. Chigs, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, all these look great. I'm wondering how big of a library of tracks we are getting in this game.
I think it's supposed to be like 23 main tracks and then something like 17 CrossWorlds. I don't know, but it's a fairly big number. But certainly, like in terms of like represented locations, the CrossWorlds really have inflated that number significantly, which makes a lot of sense since that's a core mechanic. But one advantage of the CrossWorlds is that you can like have more diverse locations, but you don't like have to make a complete track out of it. Because like you can just like have this one strip of track that lasts roughly the length of a single course before like going back into the main track of whatever your race is. So like it has been nice seeing them use that to kind of come up with some unique locations, to revisit some locations that canonically might not make much sense to go to, like white space and cyberspace. Like those are two locations that technically don't exist anymore. But this game is trying to be canonical in some fashion, so
Well, let's not go too far. Like
I when it comes to canon, I draw the line at kart racers.
No, like like this has like character interactions and stuff, and characters justifying how things are existing in their universe. Like Tails mentions how, oh my god, Dodonpa simulated this when he goes into cyberspace. So they're trying.
Sure.
Like, you guys might not like it,
I
but they
bet
are.
Ian Flynn's fingerprints are all over this, but that does not mean I agree with him.
I don't think that's an Ian Flynn thing. It's a Sega thing. Like we've talked about how like Sonic Speed Simulator has to deal with Sonic canon, so like they cannot use canonically dead characters.
Sega's version of canon is not what fans want to treat canon as. Like Sega's version of canon is like, this exists within the universe, not, well, we need to make sure that there's continuity. Like, it's just
right.
It's just silly to suggest otherwise.
But I'm just saying, like, they're justifying how this exists in their universe.
Yeah.
So moving on to the music of CrossWorlds. The one way they have been revealing tracks is through music. And the soundtrack has been divisive amongst the fan base. Largely, like you see the people who hate it seem to really hate EDM, which I guess that is the genre that they're using. I don't know, but I personally think that the music ranges from fine to good. Like none of the tracks stand out as amazing to me. Like there's no Frozen Factory Team Sonic Racing equivalent in this for me so far. Where like that was a freaking bop in Team Sonic Racing. Like,
Team Sonic Racing had a fantastic soundtrack all around. My attitude towards this is effectively like I'm not offended by it in any meaningful way. I'm not disappointed by it or upset, but I'm also someone who hasn't really been that impressed by any Sonic soundtrack since Team Sonic Racing. So I'm looking through this game and just thinking, it is video
that's
game
where we
music.
Differentiate.
The one problem I have is each remix sounds a little similar in style, with the way they sound. Not sounding
there
the same, but their remix style, is kind of electronica tinny kind of.
There's not the way there's
Dude.
nothing on here that I would really want to listen to on its own, but it feels like everything would certainly serve its purpose of like, yeah, if this is supposed to be the backing track for playing a racing game, it's like, yeah, I get all that. Like, if you're looking for, hey, this is my next Spotify playlist, I don't think this soundtrack is that. But I generally think, like, it's fine. Sometimes video games just have video game music. If a Sonic game has video game music sometimes, that is acceptable. Sure.
Like,
it's okay.
Me personally, like, I'm always like really into like orchestrations and stuff, and I do
Crap,
believe
you and I have the most arguments about vocal music.
I love vocal music, especially like vocal rock music and anime and like anime crap and stuff like that. But I also really love orchestrations. That has always been a thing for me. Like, those are both things that I really enjoy. This is something where it's like, I like it. I could listen to it, but like, I'm not going to put it on while I'm trying to write something or something like that. But so like, I don't really understand the people who are utterly livid and like are acting like they are butchering a patos because they put some like weird EDM stuff at the start of it or whatever.
It serves its purpose for the game, but it's not something you're going to listen to outside of it.
It's kind of funny that like whenever there's that like the fans are super divisive here, and everyone goes like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, like people have weird relationship with Sonic music where it's like, no, I need all my Sonic music to be fantastic. Like, you know what? Like, inconsistently, it's fine. Like, yeah, I would say there are Sonic soundtracks older than this that I have very strong feelings about. One of which is, Sonic Unleashed, and I don't think it does justice to that, but at the same time, like, I don't hold reverence to a kart racer soundtrack needing to be on par with the main games, with the strange exception of Mario Kart World, which has one of the best game soundtracks I've ever heard.
So moving on to DLC. Specifically, we are getting like a couple of weird DLC collaborations
We sure
have been
are.
revealed over the last few weeks.
Yeah,
and they aren't anything major, but they do point towards this game having like some kind of digital content outside of the season passes and free Sega DLC and stuff.
To me, I kind of look at this and think like, hey, you know how they're gonna try to boost the revenue of this game? What if there's a lot of product placement?
Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. Because okay, so we're getting a Beyblade collaboration, which is going to bring
Beyblade Kids. We're gonna get a Beyblade Kids collaboration,
which is going to bring Beyblade decals to the game. Which, that's a fine, low cost way of, I guess, doing a Beyblade collaboration. Better than like, I guess, putting a Beyblade character or
have your character drive around a dragon who lives in a top.
All right. Wait. So Beyblade is the top. Okay.
Yeah, Beyblade's like the spinning top.
Tops. My
you shoot them.
Though.
Yeah, they've kind of had a brand resurgence in recent years.
My nephew's 5 and 8, so.
Like, I don't know, we had Top Battle stuff in the 90s too. It was just didn't have an anime aesthetic. And in addition to that, we're also getting an even weirder collaboration with Crazy Raccoon, which I got to learn some things with this one. So Crazy Raccoon is a Japanese esports team. And apparently they also sing music for their YouTube channel, I guess. I don't know, but like they don't compose the music, but like the entire team does vocals for it. And so we are getting a Crazy Raccoon song that will be coming this winter, along with, again, decals. And I assume that this game is going to have some sort of soundtrack selection, because otherwise, like, I don't really know how you would do music DLC otherwise. So yeah, like, you can get some. I listened to the song, and like, as I said before, I liked my anime music slop. So like, it's a perfectly fine J-pop track. I enjoy it. Um, and
I just love how the music videos, like, they have one piece of art for every member, and they just sort of
Right.
move it around on the screen in various ways and superimpose it over images like their actual animation or something that they're trying to pretend there is.
and I'm assuming those are the decals. Like, that's what they look like to me, is like the decals for the game.
It wouldn't surprise me.
So, like, for me, like, probably the most informative thing about this is that, hey, we're gonna be getting like a music player, probably. I don't know, but so, like, this does point towards CrossWorlds getting more smaller scale DLC.
It's the kind of thing where I question, like, is this so? Okay, are we in the U.S. getting this?
Yes, we are. Like, I did not report on this until yeah, I know, right?
Because they had no problem making the Corone stuff Japan exclusive. Who are they expecting to get with this?
I don't know. Maybe, like, that's just how the licensing ended up working out, or maybe they want all of the promotional content for this to be international. I don't know, but I guess, no. Like, it was reported by the Sega of America account, and that is when I decided to finally do it on Sonic Stadium, because it had been, like, floating around on the Japanese account, and on, like, accounts reporting on that for, like, the previous day, and I was like, I don't feel like doing this.
You know what? I'm surprised. You know what I'm surprised about? That we haven't gotten any, like, Corone collaboration stuff. Like, that feels like that would be all over that. Like, is she kind of falling out of vogue or something? Or
I wouldn't know, but, like, it's possible that we'll just get her later. I don't know. Like, I technically, like, my big time experiencing Corone was, like, around Frontiers, when, like, there was this Banjo Kazooie animation of her making, like, this the sound while she was using the crocodile.
Well, there was that, but then also, like, whenever they got into their Shadow Year stuff, like, they made a whole bunch of Shadow collaboration merch for Japan.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. And there was Corone?
Yeah, they had, like, her in Shadow hoodie version or something, and we're selling like, small stuff with that in like a cafe or pop-up store type thing.
Now, I'm personally hoping that we're gonna, like, this is how we get like some IDW stuff. Like, we get, like, IDW decals and, like, I don't know, maybe Tangle and Whisper as characters or something. Because that is the one thing because, like, that is, like, one of the few things this game is missing for me now. It's like, I need some IDW rep and some classic Sonic rep, and then I'm good. But moving on to so we got a couple more CrossTalk episodes, and I continue to find them to be entertaining. But what makes them most entertaining for me is that Jet is hosting them now, and he is, like, trying to, like, attach his own branding to it.
Okay, almost all of my animosity towards Jet comes from his representation from, I'm gonna say, 2004 was the first
2006 to 2010. Let's just say that.
Okay, sure. Where he was voiced by the 4Kids cast, same voice actor as Sonic, except
Jason Griffith.
Yeah. A really agitating voice for him. And it felt like Sega's writing for him really wanted to push for Jet to be a cool rival who is just sort of like, as good as Sonic, but he's the vaguely bad one. He's the honorable bad one, but he's like the big. We want you to take Jet seriously, and it feels like they have taken a complete 180 on that. And
like they did sometimes do some goofy stuff with him in the first Riders game. Like I forget, like he got hit on the head or something. Had this
to a degree, but not quite.
But now it's like he is a total loser now. This does not start.
Well, I still feel compelled to make the comparison that I've made before. Like he's Dan Hibiki from Street Fighter. Like that is who he is. It's like we can all acknowledge, like, in normal society, Dan would be an excellent fighter, but he lives in a world filled with superpowered nutcases and is trying to manage within that while maintaining the world's biggest ego.
Like in the case of Jet, it's like, you know, he wants to be like the fastest, but like it's basically just like a pro skater trying to compete in a world of superheroes, basically. And like Jet you cannot make that cool, but you can make that lame. But go on, Shigs.
I was gonna say Jet can back it up to a degree. He is probably Sonic's best sports rival. It's just that he's kind of, very ignorant and arrogant about it.
Like he's no Shadow, he's no Surge, he's no Knuckles. He is no like real rival outside of this one specific sport. And so like,
but he's such a dip about it. Like there was a line in the Rivals trailer today where Shadow's like, I'm the ultimate life form, and Jet's retort was like, more like ultimate lame form, or something like that. He's just such an
ultimate lose form, which is even worse than lame form.
God, I love this direction for him so much.
But this is not new, for the record. Like, they debuted this in IDW with, like, when we had his birthday, and Whisper stole his Hot Pocket. And, like, there is a contingent of Jet fans that exists that, like, absolutely loathe that. Because
these people should not be happy. They should not find happiness in this world.
He had a messy room and he was a loser. It's like, and now this is like kind of carrying over into the games and into the promotional material, and like into CrossTalk, where it's like he's trying to like take over CrossTalk and rebrand it as the Extreme.
Well, the best part of those is the part where Wave is trying to obviously shoehorn in, like, no, we're gonna tell actual information and go over our rivals. And they get to Rouge, and every time he's like, well, these are all the things she stole. She stole this. And Jet's response every time, like, I wanted to steal that. No, I was gonna take that. I had my eye on that.
Yeah. It's like, and like one of those things was like the Soliana diamond or something, which is like Elise's necklace, but yeah, it's like the voice acting here is also top notch, by the way. Which one thing I did not know was that Wave is voiced by Sakura Haruno's voice actress, which is like she is such an upgrade from who we.
Sakura, is that from Naruto?
Yes, from Naruto.
Yeah.
Okay, I know at least that.
But like they are such an upgrade from who we used to, from like the old performances from the older Riders game.
Yeah, I prefer this Jet to the squawky chicken sounding Jet, to be honest.
Like it sounds like they sound like actual characters now, and like it really lends to their personalities, and they're just so good. And I'm really kind of the only reason why I kind of want a new Riders game with like a proper story mode is so that we can like have these characters in a new adventure. Like that.
I would 1,000 times rather have this than a new Riders game.
Yes, so would I, because the Riders was
not good.
The Riders games were not very good.
No. They control like butt.
Although I did kind of
don't care gravity, I do not care what any y'all have to say about it. The Riders games control like butt.
And I'm really looking forward to how they're going to like do the rival. I'm looking forward to all of the rival interactions. Like we apparently like a Storm one just got released where he confused Shadow for Sonic.
I want to see everyone. I want to see everyone's interaction with Eggman. Because that's gonna be great.
It's probably just gonna like not say anything, right?
Yeah, but everyone else is. That's gonna be great. They're gonna have to deal with that, and he's just gonna be this silent. Like, it's gonna be the same with Metal Sonic. Like, Metal Sonic's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna make weird metal noises at you.
Yeah, that's true. Huh.
Is it just me, or is SBO trying to sound more like an old school Shinobi in his line? Like, "'Tis been a while since we've battled before."
I mean, that's he kind of dips into that from time to time.
He has always kind of talked a little like that. Yeah. Like, I think it has varied a bit, but like in Sonic Heroes, he spoke very formally. Formally. Yeah, I think I said that. I think I pronounced that correctly. But so like at worst, I think that might be kind of a return to that. But yeah, so we did get some new Rivals dialogue, which in a trailer, which we'll talk about soon. But anyway, so moving on to Gamescom, which man, we got some big news out of that.
We got some big news, yeah. We got very big news.
So Sonic and Pac-Man are doing their second ever two-way game collaboration. And
was it the last one mobile?
The last time was indeed mobile. It was Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man, who Namco no longer has legal access to, made it into Sonic Dash, and then and you could still play as them in that. They have a unique boss as opposed to the only two that have ever been in Sonic Dash. Boy, they should probably add more bosses to that game. And then Sonic had like a maze thing in the 2D Pac-Man sort of arcade-like experience in mobile, which is no longer available.
Yeah, that game died earlier this year, but I'm hoping that this collaboration will lead to us at least getting like Pac-Man back for a limited time in Sonic Dash. Because I would very much like to unlock him.
I suspect it's probably not going to be that intense that you're going to get that back.
Yes, but I can hope. But regardless, like, this is way more cooler. Because, these are, like, proper games. Proper console games. And so, okay, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is getting a Pac-Man DLC pack in its digital in its season pass, which will include Pac-Man, the Ghosts, and a Pac World level that crosses into an arcade CrossWorld, and it all just looks really cool.
Yeah, this got me to pre-order the game, which it was a bit of a shock for me because I wasn't that big on the last Pac-Man World remix. It's good, but it doesn't add anything to it.
It's what that game was. Like, they accurately represented
that was an early 3D platformer. Like,
you weren't a little too accurate, but I know they improve with each one, so I went ahead and pre-ordered it. I had some GameStop.
All right, I assume you're talking about Pac-Man World 2.
Yeah, because when it comes to my favorite video game characters, it's first Sonic, then Mario, and then third is Pac-Man. So I was,
I respect Pac-Man, but
yeah,
nah.
Pac-Man has the thing is, Pac-Man has this beautiful purity as a mascot character because he is in so many things that it does not make sense for him to be in, that it's just academically fascinating. He was big in a way that eventually, like, Sonic would become, with the degree to which he is just sort of ubiquitous and around. He was the one that got his own dedicated animated series, while everyone else was trying to share the Saturday Supercade.
Yeah, I remember. I'm familiar with that. But like as far as like CrossWorlds is concerned, like this is probably the first DLC that I find genuinely fitting for this because it's a video game legend.
Yeah,
right.
Coming to this, and that is just really cool.
And then you're getting a level from the Pac-Man's world too.
Yeah, and that looks really cool. And the car is like ripped out of a Ridge Racer game, and so there's just so much love and like attention to detail in this that I really appreciate. And so it's like, yeah, cool. This is really cool. And on top of that, and so like for the other side of the crossover, Pac-Man World 2 Re-PAC, that game was kind of nominally on my list already because it was like what.
Hey, Pac-Man World 2 is pretty okay platformer for the mid-2000s. It's certainly the best of the Pac-Man World trilogy. It's still a bit
what I've heard.
more straightforward.
I played a bit of it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's perfectly
not enough
fine.
for me to like really get into it, but like
it
I'm
very much
considering
represents.
Re-PAC.
Yeah, it very much represents a very specific era of like, well, even I would say even then, like it's a little bit antiquated when it came out that it was the mascot platformer, but not so antiquated that stuff like that wouldn't come out.
And
yeah. It's a decent one of those. Like, keep in mind,
and it's only $30.
Yeah, hey, if you can get it for a good price, get it for a good price. It's neat. The fascinating thing about it, more than anything, is they just made a Sonic level for Pac-Man. Yeah. Like it's not like, no, we adapted the Pac-Man ideas to build like a Sonic level around. It's like, no, this looks like it was just ripped straight out of Sonic Generations and they replaced it.
I thought it was a Sonic Generations level for a minute there.
Like I had to do a double take. Like a few of them that showed in the thing, like DLC,
so
four stages.
It is confirmed there are 3. There are 3 in the pack and in the Sonic pack. So we saw Green Hill. Who knows? Maybe there's more than one Green Hill. Maybe there's just one Green Hill and maybe something else. They kind of hint at
sanctuary or chemical plant.
Who knows? There's like some sort of industrial stuff that looks somewhat consistent with chemical plant in some of the animations, or it might be consistent with like I don't know. I'm trying to remember what the exact aesthetics of Green Hill and Sonic Forces were, but it's my guess is that this is going to be very generation centric, and it's probably going to feel like, hey, a lot like a Sonic game, whether you're just playing as Pac-Man, which, quite honestly, is everything I want out of the world.
Which is possible, because Pac-Man does kind of have a spin dash of his own in those 3D games. There's platforms he can rev up on.
It looks like he has a boost in one of the screenshots.
And he definitely can roll. He has that rolling ability. He's had that for a long time, so it fits in really well.
But in either case, like, now that it is getting this Sonic DLC, I will be buying it. Yeah, just purely because, side coverage. But, like, this was already on my list. This kind of tipped it over into, okay, I'm definitely going to get, it's only $30.
Dauntless in chat is bringing up the idea of, like, of them continuing this line on of Pac-Man World 3. And let me just tell you, I played some Pac-Man World 3. Pac-Man World 3 is weird. I don't know how you remake that game, because Pac-Man World 3 is like a mid-2000s era platformer not in the style of, but certainly in the tone of like your Ratchet and Clanks, your Jack and Daxters, where it's just like, yeah, everyone's just kind of slightly sarcastic and sassy and talking all of the time.
I mean, they did go to the trouble of rehiring Pac-Man's voice actor from that for this game.
They did. Pac-Man Pac-Man talks so much in Pac-Man World 3. Like, there's constant dialogue. It's off-putting that Pac-Man talks this much.
But you know, like the way the way that you can do it is you can just do it accurately.
You're saying it's $30. I think the Sonic DLC is. I don't know if it's free, but there is a digital deluxe. I think it might
It's
be
part
in
of the
that.
digital deluxe.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I thought, which is $40.
So they're gonna upsell me. All
Well,
right.
yeah, it's a digital deluxe. You get some other Pac-Man stuff. You also get like, hey, if you pre-order, you get the Pac-Land hat and shoes. And I know everyone is after those Pac-Man
I guess
Pac-Land hat and shoes.
What I find most funny about this is that someone on Twitter speculated that Pac-Man was going to be one of the DLC packs because it was coming out basically the same day as CrossWorld. I poo-pooed that because, like, sure, you know, Pac-Man, they've done it before, but now it's like, you know, this DLC pack has freaking Minecraft and SpongeBob in it, you know, big properties.
So, I believe
so wrong.
I believe the opposite. I thought it would be like, even as like a half joking, I kind of was like, you know, it'd be really funny. It'd be really funny. We know the Pac-Man stuff, the Pac-Man World 2 DLC is going to be some sort of collaboration. And you know what tier that both Sonic and Pac-Man are operating is like, it would be something if the Pac-Man stuff was gonna be Sonic related, because that's believable. And I had no, like, the idea of Pac-Man being in the racing game was never on my radar at any point.
but like,
no, Pac-Man being in a racing game kind of makes sense. I mean, he was in the arcade Mario Kart game too.
Sure,
he had his own kart racer.
Yeah. I mean, like, hey, they've done some racing stuff. It's just that it was given the other stuff that they had shown, how so thoroughly Paramount and Nickelodeon centric that a lot of the stuff has been, that it felt like, you know, it didn't feel like Pac-Man was working at the tier or style of things that they were aiming at. Although
Pac-Man was not big enough, was my thinking.
Though Sega, you still have the capacity to do the funniest thing in the world.
Bubsy.
No, you're so close. You're so close. The last one should be Garfield. The last one should be Garfield, because there's another Garfield kart racer coming out like this year or something.
That would be funny.
It would be so funny.
Like on multiple levels, because you know the Garfield and Sonic pack and everything.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, another thing that this DLC also confirmed.
DLC, that's what we need.
Oh,
no,
right.
no, so I'm going for Rocky Rodent.
So the Pac-Man DLC is coming in late 2025, and the CrossWorlds DLC is coming in early 2026. Yep. And SpongeBob will be, and this will be after SpongeBob, so the third pack. There's another thing that this DLC did confirm is that this game will have skins for individual racers.
Or at least some characters are interpreted as skins. Yes,
because the ghosts, all 4 ghosts are in this, but they are a single character slot that you can just select which one. So conceivably other characters could get skins, like I don't know, Sonic could get his IDW what's the word? The IDW Phantom Rider outfit, which I would be very much in favor of. Or they could just give us Pirate Sonic if they want to be lazy about it, you know. Just carry over all the hard costumes.
Look, Knuckles is consistent and unrelenting fanboy foaming at the mouth for whatever nonsense he wants at a given day in what characters he wants. I am gonna say keep expectations in check, because they have not really pushed. I feel like if skins were going to be a big thing, it would have been part of their marketing push for it. And I am kind of looking at it and thinking, like, maybe some of the Sonic Prime stuff could be interpreted as a skin. We kind of
That's one
don't
thing I
know
was
at this
wondering about,
point.
but they do call them characters in the marketing,
Yeah.
whereas they did not for the ghosts.
Well, I mean, they called the ghosts and then specified that the ghosts are separately skins of each other, but they are still of the character Ghost.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I was thinking, maybe that could be the case for the Prime characters. We'll know in a month. But I don't know. This is just another way they could like add stuff to the game. I guess
Like
through like cheap
like
DLC.
yeah, well, sure. Every major Sonic game in recent history has had skins in some form, but they have never pursued them to the degree that their service games pursue them.
I think the most they've ever pursued them is Superstars. Because like I think
Superstars is a big one. Frontiers had a couple that they added for promotional, but that's kind of what I would gesture at is they have never gotten into the big we're going to be selling our skins as just skins. Like Monkey Ball has done that a bit, but for Sonic they have largely reserved a lot of that for promotional purposes. You can buy some of them, especially like the Lego collaboration
mostly
stuff.
what I'm thinking of is like, hey, we're having they release a free pack of IDW things, and it's like it's decals, and it's a couple characters, and then it's like a skin of a character, like again like Phantom Rider or something, like a relatively cheap way of doing some free DLC is what I'm thinking.
I'm hesitant to buy into that idea.
Well, we'll know eventually.
It feels so okay. What don't we actually know? Because we know that there's one franchise left that hasn't been announced, and then we believe that have they like shown off a board of what they're expecting for the Sega stuff? Because we know 3 Sega crossover.
There are 10 empty slots for the Sega stuff.
Really, that many?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. I
like from what I can gather, we're basically going to be getting a character from the season pass every 2 months, and then a character from the free Sega thing every month. So that's like monthly free DLC and bi-monthly paid DLC. And then we know of 2 collaborations.
Okay, yeah, that. You know what then? If we're looking at that many additions as it goes forward, then and combined with the fact that they don't necessarily have to voice act these characters, maybe we will. Maybe we will get something IDW.
That has been my general thinking, because it's like I don't know what location I don't think IDW is going to get added as part of the Sega pack, because each of those is a character, car, and track, and I don't think they're going to do like a track for IDW. I don't know what track they do for IDW, so it's like some characters and skins and decals is what makes the most sense to me.
There's a few characters that do at least maybe have some level of prominence enough that I think they could do something. Like, I'm not expecting skins like, oh, they'll put Phantom Rider. I'm more expecting like there's 3 characters that they would give that treatment for, and those 3 characters are Tangle, Whisper, and Surge. And
remember, Phantom Rider did appear in Speed Simulator. That's why I bring them up.
Yeah, but I don't count Speed Simulator as anything real. Like, Speed Simulator is sort of tangential to a lot of the other stuff that Sega that themselves would brand manage. I don't treat that as any meaningful indication.
But yeah, like in terms of characters, those are the 3 I think are most likely.
Yeah, and if you think of like, and not simply most likely of what they would want to do in terms of their prominence in the series, but also they seem like the best candidates for characters that could have some presence in the series proper, and thus might be worthwhile to...
But they are what
yeah.
I'm most finger crossed for. Like, is
Yeah.
those three.
And I don't think we would get all three, but at the very least, we have seen in that leak concept art of a board that looks suspiciously like Whisper's mask.
I feel like we saw that in some actual screenshots recently.
Did we? Oh, okay.
I think so. But yeah, so like I think we should buy. I think like this game's almost being treated like borderline live service, given how much
no
it's getting.
borderline about it. Like they have their... This is more extended than they've ever had a DLC plan for Sonic. Like the closest is maybe Frontiers, where they gave us a calendar, but Frontiers didn't exactly have the season pass aspect for it. Like, no other Sonic game pursued a season pass in that kind of way.
Like, this is definitely their most ambitious release, I think.
For sure.
And
for absolute... It's no question. No question whatsoever. But yeah,
so
there's room for a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm hoping we get... Like, I don't need every classic character, but I think just thematically classic Sonic would be good. Like, I think classic Sonic feels like he needs to be in here.
I would like to get like Trip and Fang too, but at least classic Sonic would be nice. We do at least have a Superstar stage, so there's some classic rep in there already.
And we know, like, hey, there is a modern take on classic Sonic in racing games through the Hardlight version of the Team Sonic Racing on Apple Arcade. So it's like we kind of have a sense of what it would look like if he were.
So moving on, we will soon all be able to like talk about how we feel the game plays, because it is getting an open network test at the end of the month across all platforms.
Yeah.
Specifically PS5, Series, Xbox Series, original Switch, and PC. And there's looks like there's gonna be a lot to it. Like, there's a whole bunch of tracks. I forget the exact number. There's gonna be 12 playable characters.
Okay, they did specify some of that.
Yeah, 12 playable characters, 42 gears, or those customizable things. And there's also gonna be like there's an online mode, but you can also play the offline Grand Prix and time trial. So like you're gonna be able to get a really good taste of that game over the course of a few days.
Seems so. I am glad to finally get my hands on it. So I like, of us all, I am the one person who hasn't.
Yeah, I think both Shigs and I played it during the closed network test back in February, and then I got to play it again at Summer Game Fest.
And I just don't own a PlayStation, so it's like even the first time around, it's like, well, I'm not exactly in position. Now, to be clear, you did specify it, and I will emphasize, like, this game is coming to PS4, this game is coming to Xbox One. The network test will not be for those consoles.
Yes, it will not be on those. Switch 2, it'll be a Switch 1 version.
Yes, to also emphasize, because the Switch 2 version of CrossWorlds will not release at launch.
Yeah. We're getting that digitally in this winter, I think.
I am impressed that they are willing to with Steam, because Steam seems like it would have been a bridge too far to have a PC application available at the risk of like people dissecting it.
Well, from what I can gather from the downloads, it does look like it is very cordoned off. Now, maybe there are limits to that I'm unaware of, but like the Steam download was what, 7 gigs or something, or 6.9 gigs, I think. Actually, Epic was 7.4.
It's of reasonable size. There's weird miscommunications in it between, I think, different Sega regions. Because, like, if we did comparisons between the official website through, I want to say, the US branch of Sega and the official website through Sega Asia, it's like one of them says, hey, you don't need NSO, and the other one says, yeah, you need NSO, but you don't need PlayStation Plus. And then in one part of it, they list all of them as hey, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. And then down below where it starts giving file sizes, it's like they include one for the Epic Games Store, which, like, Epic Games Store wasn't listed above. Are you doing Epic Games Store? I don't know. It's very strange.
All right, and so it'll consist of 16 courses, 9 main, and 7 CrossWorlds. And also we will get an opportunity to play Joker via the Joker Festival, which will run for about a day in the middle of this of the test.
Which is in alignment with the leak and how they sort of showed events through there. It looked a lot. It looked a lot like the way that the Knights event was set up in the leak. How they were presenting the Joker Day. So this isn't to say that, hey, Knights is coming, but it could still very well be placeholder. But it is kind of just, confirming, like, okay, yeah, they're gonna have like rotating events associated with the game to maintain it as, like, a service type online support structure.
So like this will be the central focus of our next episode, obviously.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. So finally, one final piece of CrossWorlds news. All right, yeah. We got a new trailer that went over some new modes. There's going to be offline multiplayer, and there's also going to be a new mode called Race Park, which is Race Park is. You can change up rules and teams online and offline in a party mode that features 6 unique race formats. Probably not a mode that I'm going to use, but it sounds like it's different from the standard racing formula. So I guess we will soon get to see what that's all about.
I mean, it sounds like a good.
Go
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like a good, like, hey, playing online with friends specifically type mode.
Yeah, but you can also do it with friends at home, I guess. Shigs, what were you saying?
So unfortunately for me, the open beta test happens right when I'm going to PAX West for the very first time.
Yeah, which sucks. But
yeah,
at least
leave on the 28th. I come back on the 31st.
offline.
So,
you get to be there. You get to have the real prize though, because Dan Olsen's going to be there. I would love to see him do stuff in person. I'm envious of that.
Okay, so moving on.
I'll be bringing my Switch too, so I can at least play that beta. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Switch 1 version plays well on that. I am a little concerned that that's going to be like kind of the worst version in some bad ways, but fingers crossed. So moving on to game news, we got a reveal that I am very excited for because I'm looking forward to this game.
It's so weird.
Yeah, like one thing I was apparently not aware of is that Shinobi Art of Vengeance is getting Sega Villain DLC. And the first of those villains will be Eggman.
Yeah, a classic Eggman specifically. They show off in art.
It looks like it's gonna be like in like hand-drawn Green Hill in that game's style. So that's cool.
Last time I got Eggman mentioned in another game was like Bayonetta at the very beginning, and like, hey, even Eggman to destroy that gets fried in the end. That's about it.
Yeah, you're gonna stab him. You're gonna kill the hell out of Dr. Eggman.
I'm assuming that it's going to be PG in some fashion for
Yeah, it
him. I would be
probably
very
is.
surprised
It
if, like,
probably will
you
be.
slice him in half.
You will probably fight his robots.
Yeah. But like I'm just happy that this game is getting some like Sonic content, because one, that gives me an excuse to cover it on the side, and two, that will hopefully encourage more people to play it, because what I played at Summer Game Fest was very fun.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks real good. It looks real good.
And
It wouldn't like. I'm thinking like, yeah, we'll probably have Mr. X as the second one. That seems like
yeah,
it,
that does seem likely.
a
But for
given.
the third one, like I am wondering, like, would they like go the Golden Axe route, or I don't know, Jet Set Radio somehow? I don't know.
I doubt it will be Jet Set Radio. I'm trying to think of like what are other iconic Sega villains, and there aren't a lot I can think of. Like you could maybe poke into
Well,
one of the Atlas franchises for
like
something.
for Golden Axe, you do have Death Adder, which is
Yeah.
like, a franchise that is similar in tone to Shinobi and similar
But also
in
Golden Axe
style to
sucks.
Streets of Rage.
Axe sucks. I don't want Golden Axe.
Yeah, yeah. That would not excite me, but they are making
Have
new
it
Golden
be
Axe, so
I got it.
brand-wise it
Have
makes
it be
sense.
Dr. Bad Boon. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Dr.
He has
Bad
to
Boon.
run around the monkey ball stages.
Sure. That works. So, I am looking forward to this. I think it's supposed to come early 2026, so we will be waiting a while.
That's okay. Shinobi's gonna be fun. Based on everything I've seen so far, this seems like it's gonna be worth it.
And what we're not going to be checking out is going to be new Minecraft DLC, which debuted, which adds Supersonic, Super Shadow, and the Chaos Emeralds, I guess. I don't know. But what was more interesting was for Sonic Mania's 8th anniversary, Christian Whitehead gave us our first look at the Evening Star Sonic prototype.
I don't know. This doesn't sound like news to me.
Which, yeah, we had some weirdo disagreeing with us on that one, but yeah, like this kind of gave us our first look at what exactly Evening Star was proposing to Sega, and now everyone's calling this Sonic Mania 2, which it very much was not going to be that. Let's be clear.
I mean, it doesn't have an actual name, so
yeah. And Christian Whitehead didn't call it that, so I guess insist on calling it the Evening Star prototype.
Sure.
But what I find interesting about this is that for one, like, it did give us a look at the kind of 2.5D style they were going for, which I do think it looks nice. It kind of reminds me of Kenny's Big Breakaway in terms of colors.
Yeah, well, it is very consistent with what he was aiming for with that. That kind of really aimed at a very specific era of like this. This doesn't I wouldn't say this inherently looks Sonic-esque, but it certainly evokes that sort of Ristar-esque abstract weirdness that you expect from the visual style.
Some of the random junk in the foreground I find kind of distracting, though. But so the centerpiece of this, though, is the Kanga Klanga Bagnik, which is a Bagnik that would eventually appear in Sonic Superstars. And I do find it interesting that, like, Sonic Superstars has at least some roots in this old Evening Star prototype.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I am hoping.
Yeah,
what? Go on.
It's the kind of thing where, like, boy, I am sure that he made more than 2 screenshots for this pitch, and I would love to see many, many more of them.
As I understand it, it was a prototype, so it was like a whole playable thing.
Gotcha. But I mean, like, there's probably a lot more content. This is the type of thing that I would do. Oh, seeing this thing in motion would be
Yeah.
fascinating.
I really hope I like what would be the most ideal thing is if they just quietly release it to the public, but they probably
Oh,
can't do that. They
here's the
ever
thing.
want to work with Sega
You
again.
obviously wouldn't release it to the public. But you know what the Sonic fan community's really good at doing?
Recreating prototypes, yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. All of the time. It's like,
I'm certain someone's doing that right now with
oh,
this.
I bet for certain. Like if we even just got a GIF of it running, like people would extrapolate 5 levels out of just getting like a slight bit of animation.
Ultimately, though, after what happened with Penny's Big Breakaway and Superstars, I do hope that the next Evening Star project is like a Sonic thing.
I certainly don't want something from our Zest. Like, I, it's just gonna be the concern of like if Sega greenlights a Sonic game, whatever they make is going to probably have to, heavy air quotes, look like a full game that they can charge $60 to $70 for. Like,
Yeah, or Sega could like reel in those expectations a bit, and I don't know, maybe maybe make a game that they can sell for 50 like Sonic X Shadow Generations.
like that's on the low end, but I don't think that that's the space they're working at for like a brand new game project. Like, even if it's going to be one that's going to be cheaper than that, like I said, I have said this before, whenever Sonic Superstars came out, it's like, there's a reason why that game is fully in 3D, and it's because it makes it look more expensive than Sonic Mania. Like, there's not more content in it than Sonic Mania, but it looks like they can charge more.
Yeah. I do see that.
It's just Sonic.
Hey, it looks prettier, so yeah, we got to give you more money.
Since
we got you to not give you more money, make you spend more money.
Since the movie and since Frontiers did a certain way, I think that has shifted what Sega expects from a Sonic game. And I can tell you Sonic X Shadow Generations has reinforced that, considering that did a certain way. And like, I think 3 million for what? Well, it shook out to be 3 million based on.
I thought it was like 2.8 million or something
of Superstars. Yeah. That's respectable for that game. That's 100% respectable.
Like, I'm sure Sega made a profit.
Oh yeah, they better. But like, they openly said like it was a sales disappointment for us, and I'm just sitting here and thinking, then you dramatically overestimated what a classic Sonic game will do. Like, classic Sonic games should not be because you think that they can do as well as a Frontiers. They cannot and they will not. The audience is not there for that. What you do is you do it because you do have a small dedicated audience that can be there for that, and they will give you a lot of goodwill and attention by making these kind of smaller projects. And I get why you don't, because you're working with opportunity costs, but then that's also why you work with small external studios that can put out really high quality product for the kinds of people that you want to be on your side. I don't know. Yeah, you get what I mean.
In any case, moving on to merch news. I don't often have much to say about clothing.
You want to see some sick shirts? Because these shirts
Roosevelt,
are sick, dude.
Roosevelt's has revealed a new line of high-end Sonic clothing. And to give you an idea of what I mean by high-end, I mean these are $70 button shirts.
Which is not ridiculous for, like, the level of quality you're looking at.
Yeah.
But it's more expensive. Like, so Sonic fans are complaining about being asked to spend $10. I don't think a lot of Sonic fans have realistic expectations of what things cost in the world. But there is a market for high-end shirts and clothing, and that is the space that this company works within.
And I own one of their shirts, and it's very comfortable, and I treat it very well. And I really do need to get around to getting some of their Sonic shirts because they look cool.
Oh, they have
Um,
so much good looking stuff. Like it was painful
Yeah,
doing this story because they had a TMNT arcade one that was just all of the arcade sprites laid out like walking through the level across a shirt. It was so good. It was so good. And I had to say no because I can't. I can't afford it. I can't reasonably do it.
well, hopefully one
Yeah.
day.
If I
I
get a
mean-
job, this is going to be one of the purchases I make because like there are so many good designs for this. Like the only bad one I would say is just a bunch of 2D classic Sonic art just sort of smeared all over it. But there's like classic Sonic iconography. There's a special stage one that looks good. There's like a Sonic 3 special stage one that looks that has like the grid pattern of the sphere all over it. There's Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and rings. There's like item boxes. I think the one that does that really appeals to me the most is just a Green Hill spread, so that the bottom of the shirt is just the ground and it's Sonic looking up at Eggman as like the boss fight would initiate or something.
The
Shigs,
the
are you trying to
maze
say something?
the maze bonus level one, that's my favorite out of these.
Oh,
That
the
just looks
Sonic,
beautiful.
the Sonic 1 Emerald stage is amazing in shirt form.
Ultimately, what I appreciate about these shirts is that they look nice, and they have a very soft, comfortable material that is much better than like my typical button shirts that I wear.
Oh, I bet.
And
I bet.
so like when you combine comfort with a neat like reference filled fanboy clothing that is just can't beat that combination. So
This website will ruin me if I had money to allow it to ruin me.
now this next thing, this is all you because Sonic Roll revealed a get a character expansion at Gen Con, and you did a whole thing for this because they sent you one of these.
Yeah, it's not often that I actually get sent things, in part because I am not high enough in the pecking order to get review copies of things, and also all of our review copies tend to be PlayStation 5.
PS5. Yeah.
So, a console I do not own and probably will not own anytime soon.
I guess increase the
Now
price
with
by
it going
50
up in
bucks.
price now.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, the only thing that hey, if they ever release Astrobot on PC, it's like, well, then I'm never going to own one at any point ever, because why would I? What is there to compel me to do so? As a PC player at this point. But yeah, Sonic Roll is a pretty fun tabletop game. It is 1 to 4 players. It is longer than they list on the box in every gameplay experience that I've had. But it's a cute little push your luck game where you attempt to basically, it is basically like a simulator of playing classic Sonic, where you're attempting to get through a stage by selecting some sort of move. That move comes with like little modifiers, and they represent like different kinds of dice, such as dice where you run, or dice where you jump, or dice where you spin, which have different effects and interact with the stages in different ways. And I did not love my multiplayer experience with it. Like, I had fun with my friends doing so, but I quickly ran into an issue where, like, I played as Amy, and Amy's archetype within her thing is, like, she's real good at killing badniks, and what that turned into is, like, we can't actually make any meaningful progress unless I use my entire turn to go kill badniks every time. And I didn't see, like, a good path to be like, I I don't think there's a good way forward if I don't use my stuff like this. Like, I gotta we gotta have someone running cleanup for this, and I guess that's gonna be me. And it kind of hurt my opinion of as a multiplayer game, but also I've been playing this game for a little while as single player, going through the entire campaign for it, and I think it's a pretty good single player tabletop game. Just as a fairly straightforward press your luck stuff. It not perfect. It has too much stuff going on sometimes that it's really difficult to keep track of all of the modifiers happening in the game, like when you're supposed to get things, when you're supposed to pay things, when you're supposed to check for things. That's a little bit excessive. But I think in spite of that, it really shines through, and they just introduced a new character, and the new character is whoever you want it to be. It's a blank card. It is not like create a character fully in philosophical terms. They very much give you that character's abilities. They very much set up like, this is what this character does. You will play this character. The only difference is like, okay, it doesn't come with art. It doesn't come with a name on it. You get to put that stuff in. And then my create a character will be the same ability-wise as your create a character. And they're interesting to play as because they're kind of an interesting all-arounder. Like, they... In situations where you would run into in the game, like, their agility is pretty useful, and it's pretty protective against, bad things happening. Their flexibility just lets you pick 3 of whatever kind of dice you want, and that can be useful in a lot of circumstances. It could also, screw you over if you pick the wrong set of dice, because sometimes it's just easier to not have as many dice as the game wants to give you, or to have them of specific kinds. But there's circumstances where having the variety is useful. I played a game of this on stream. Had a big fancy overlay where I just played it, the physical game, but I tried to set it up as if it was like, it's like a video game UI or something, and was able to get through one game, and by get through, I mean made it so close to the end and lost, like...
The boss killed you.
My character died to a really aggressive Eggbot. Like, Egg Robo.
That was a moto bug.
I think it might have been that an actual badnik killed me. But yeah, I unfortunately died. I lost my last life in the final legs of that boss fight. Like, I only had to get one more hit on the boss and it was over, and I just got the bad dice rolls. And that was the end of it. But
I'll be honest, that's one thing that, like, I could put up with that in like a D&D type thing, but not for something like this.
Yeah, hey, like, it's not... It's a press your luck dice game, and you kind of have to come into it with that mindset in the same way that you would for a roguelike, where, sometimes things just don't work out. Even in a surprisingly long run, sometimes they just kind of don't work out. But Sonic Roll, it's like more than a year old at this point. You can find it in a couple places. I think it's around $40 new, which is a lot, but that box is crammed with like a lot of stuff. It comes with I'm gonna say 4 levels, and then I'm going to wink at you and not specify why I'm winking, and then I'm going to wink a second time. It comes with, like, the base game comes with 4 characters, and then I'm gonna wink at you again, and then we're just gonna nod, and you're gonna pretend like you understand why I'm doing that. It comes with like a campaign with like 4, like it takes you through the campaign. It's like, hey, you can get the emeralds. Did you finish the campaign? Did you get all the emeralds? Well, what if there's these secret pages in the manual that are sealed shut, and you can open them, and then secrets, and then secrets. It's a cool game. I like it. It should not be your first tabletop experience. Do not let it be your first tabletop experience. This game is too complex if you're not already playing hobbyist board games. Don't do it. Do not do it.
So what you're saying is this is not a one-button game.
No, this is not a one-button game. God.
It's a two-player. It's a two-button game. I'm sorry.
God damn.
So moving on to merch that I personally love collecting. The only kind of Sonic merch I do like to collect. Funko Racers have been revealed. No,
oh, shut up. No. Get to the real stuff.
Anyway, but yeah, so GEE, the folks who made that Dodonpaw plushie that I finally got last week, and it is a very good Dodonpaw plushie. I'd like to add. I'm going to do a video for it soon. It's a very nice craftsmanship. They announced like a whole buckload of plushies.
They're like, weirdly, they're all villains, and like 3 of them are most of the Deadly Six Zeti.
Yes, we now have 5 of the Deadly Six coming in plush form.
Not including the leader of them, the one that's been in the most games.
Ironically, the one, Zavik is the only one they haven't done yet, which is so on brand for Great Eastern Entertainment, because their whole thing is they do obscure Sonic character plushies. That's why I decided to collect them. And so, of course, they would do everyone but Zavik. But, like...
But that's not even the weirdest choice. Like, they do these characters as like, okay, but what if we do something even more weird? What if we make an even bit more bizarre choice?
They did Bean the Dynamite.
Which, yeah, that's probably the most normal choice out of all of these.
Yeah, if I was going to get any of them, it would be that one.
Well, he is my favorite one, because not only is he like a character whose only other plush costs like hundreds of dollars.
And was released around commensurate with the time that Sonic the Fighters was out.
Yeah, so the Sonic the Fighters plush. But like, on top of that, he has a little bomb that comes off his hand. And that's just so cool. That's such a fun little detail. And okay, and on top of that, we're also getting our next plush from IDW, which you would think that after
it's gonna be Surge, or it's gonna be
Starline, who was already revealed like a year ago at a trade show. But no, it's Mimic, who just died.
Yep. Like, why? Why Mimic? That's it.
Well,
it feels like that's the harder choice to make. Even like, my suspicions are they just had some that are ready and wanted to get them into the States before any sort of reinstatement of the what's it called? The tariffs.
No dead character rule?
No, the tariffs.
Yeah.
That's my guess, is like, these must be the ones that they had ready, and they were like, okay, get them all to the States as quick as possible before they start making us pay extra for it.
And it is unusual that we have so many of these coming in a relatively short period of time, because they do normally spread these out. Like, we have Omega and Ray coming this month. They were revealed individually, like over the course of a couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden, like, all of these things just come out of nowhere, just 5 of them. And so, like, so one thing I do appreciate about these is that they all look nice. Like, Zaz is probably the best looking of the Zeti, because he's got like his whole design. He's got his big open mouth. He's got his tongue lolling out. Like these are so good, and that is again why I collect these.
My complaint about Zaz that I have concerns about that I don't with the other ones, and to surprise nobody, I have pre-ordered Zaz. I felt it is too on brand for me not to. Zaz's eyes are screen printed. However, everyone else appears to either have fabric eyes in the case of Bean, although it looks like Bean's actual pupils, I can't tell if they're screen printed. They look screen printed.
Well, I think the pupils might be screen printed. I don't know.
But the other Zeti characters and I believe Mimic's pupils are all embroidered, which embroidery is definitely preferred because embroidery does not wear out in the same way. It does not detach in the same way as some of their screen printed stuff, but also, there's only so much I can say because there's no logical reason for me to be able to get a Zaz plush. Like, none at all. There's just...
Yeah,
it's nonsensical. But I'm getting one, so... I don't know. Who am I to complain?
I'm just glad we're getting all of the Deadly Six out of the way, aside from Zavik, now. Because now they can, go into, some of the super obscure characters and IDW characters and stuff.
I don't think that's how that works, but you do you, I guess?
Yeah, but now that they've made these, as they continue to expand the line, they're going to have to, do Bark the Polar Bear and stuff.
Well,
so.
Bark, it would be shocking if they don't do Bark. Bark fits in with what is now a trio, but, if they're doing Bean, they'll do Bark. That's no question.
And maybe Cream and maybe Gimral, which they have Emerald, so I guess change the colors on that.
There's not a lot of these that I am willing to get because I don't have the space. I'm just at the point where
I don't have the space. I had to start putting them in a box. It made me sad, but I had to clean.
I might make there's not many left that I could think of that I would make an exception for, but I might, if they do Belle, I might have to. That
eventually they are going to have to lean into the IDW characters more, and
probably.
Belle would, after Surge and Starline and Kit, Belle is the next logical choice.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could have Belle. You could also do Jewel. Jewel seems like... Jewel and Lanolin. Lanolin seems above Jewel, but I would... Honestly, given what I've seen purely in terms of art, I feel like Lanolin would probably be a priority above Belle. I don't think I would want it more than Belle, but I could see her being a priority more than Belle.
Others would probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Belle is at least getting more attention in the comics.
Oh, for sure, absolutely, 100%, and deservedly so. I think she's a more interesting character. But also, my IDW tier list is going to be different than the collective Sonic fan base tier list of IDW characters.
So, continuing the IDW train, we have
Hey, do you want some action figures that you will never be able to buy?
Yes, apparently. We got our first whisper of a new IDW Jack Pacific character, a Whisper prototype, which I did not do that on purpose. That was an accident. But Whisper prototype leaked to eBay. Being a prototype, she's not painted properly. But this is our first evidence.
But she has the mask,
yeah. She has the mask. She has her little jacket, and this is our first indication that they are going to expand this line beyond Metal Virus, Sonic, and Tangle, who, by the way, I have never seen Tangle in a store ever.
I have never seen Tangle. I've never seen Metal Virus. I've never seen any sort of Walmart exclusive figure, and they very, very much primarily stock, like, just Sonics. Like, they stock a billion Sonics, and whatever they're doing for in terms of exclusive, they are not really particularly well distributing them.
Yeah, and it's very frustrating. Like, we didn't even get an announcement for Tangle. She just appeared on YouTube one day. It was so
Yeah.
weird.
It's
probably gonna happen with Whisper now.
It's the problem of, like, hey, the United States no longer has a good dedicated toy store chain unless you're, like, online, and for some reason, Jakks Pacific has decided to, what if we make some agreements with Walmart, who is a bad retail outlet, and I don't know why they want exclusive Sonic figures, especially if they're not going to order a sufficient amount of them to stock in a reasonable way, but they seem to want to have... Is it just me,
it doesn't seem to be the Canadian Walmart that's been getting the most of these, because I've only seen eBay listings for Tangle from Canada listings.
You know what? That would not surprise me.
It could be a degree of just, like, Walmart, because I think Walmart of Canada is handled or run a little bit differently, but it wouldn't surprise me if they also don't, share some of the similar agreements, so it could very well be that things are distributed a little bit better. Like, who knows? Maybe there's a trove of Whispers that are, or of Tangles that are only in the biggest major city Walmarts or something like that, but I don't know. Or
like,
maybe...
I don't know. I know how... go on.
No, go ahead.
I know how it worked for the Sega characters, was that they first appeared on the West Coast, and then they slowly made their way east.
Do you want me to tell you how the Sega characters worked in my experience? You could get Ai, and you could get Ai. And you might be able to find Ai.
Ai was the one that definitely got the biggest shipments at my Walmart.
I think part of Walmart's problems in the U.S. is that even if they have new figures available, a lot of stuff where if they still have the old stock, they will not put the new stock out yet. My brother had that problem with, like, when he was collecting Superpowers figures for a while. There was, like, tour waves that happened, and they still the Walmart still had the old waves for the longest time. It's like, we don't care if there's new waves. We're just go let the old waves die on the pigs.
That's why I'm just weirded out by, like, why would Walmart, like, I would hope Walmart managers understand how their own store is organized and run and stocked, and to then suggest, like, why they would want the exclusivity deals for them. I mean, hey, like, Walmart's Walmart. They can strong arm whoever they want. That's one of the reasons why they're such a miserable company, is because of how they have a stranglehold on the supply chain in ways that are just, crippling to multiple industries. It just seems weird that they would want an exclusivity type deal for anything, because they're not really a destination toy shop. Like, they don't do anything specialty. If we were in the days of Toys R Us still being around, like, you guys remember Jazzwares, Sonic, and Toys R Us, and how well everything was stocked for those. Like, they knew what they had the variety to carry. They had the characters. Like, I don't know if Toys R Us had, like, a lot of exclusives for Jazzwares stuff that was not really of the era, but, like, you knew that, hey, Toys R Us was a boutique specialty store. You were probably paying more, but you knew that they would have the stuff. Like, why does Walmart feel the need to have the exclusivity whenever it's like, well, we're not really a specialty retailer, but we want it. But we want it whenever, like, I look over at Target. Target is much more inclined to give the space and attention to specialty things.
I have found most of my most interesting Sonic action figures at Target. That's where I got my Mephiles.
I mean, even Target has done such a great job of keeping those big classic Sonic
That's where I got both of my
playsets in stock.
Sorry, my Fang Hunters.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Shigs?
So that's where I got both of my Fang the Hunters, was at Target.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Target at least has the infrastructure to handle something like that. Like, Walmart just doesn't. They're not built around having exclusives. They're not built around being like, well, we need to take stuff out of the back and put it on shelves. Like, no, like, they don't pay their employees enough to keep things on shelves and the newest, latest thing. It's like, Walmart, bad. Stop giving exclusivity to Walmart. Walmart doesn't deserve it, and they don't know how to handle it.
And one thing that drives me nuts with Jack specific anyway is that every single wave has to have one or two different Sonics. So every shelf all over, if you want like a Blaze or somebody else or an SBO, forget it. It's going to be more and more Sonic, or the most popular ones, which are like Tails and Knuckles and maybe Shadow, if you're lucky. But that's only in the 4-inch. If you go to any Walmart for like 2-inch figures, by the registers and what have you, there's a wide variety of characters and bandits compared to the 4-inch lines. It always drives me nuts.
I mean, that's the impulse section, and they treat it like the impulse section. Like I said, I shop at Walmart out of necessity in my current state of things, but like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you at any level that Walmart is a good company. Like, it's terrible on every level, but by God, do we have to deal with it.
SD cards. So, we're going to end things off with a bit of comic news. Nothing major this time around. No big releases or anything, just some small updates. For one, DCX Sonic issue 1 got a 5th reprint, which is totally unsurprising at this point. I was actually expecting to hear about earlier. This one has a cyborg Tails on it, and at this point, I really just want sales figures for this goddamn thing, because they can't be doing these reprints unless they're selling, surely.
Right. There's a lot of comics that get their own, second or third reprints if they're.
Yeah, we're on the 5th one.
That is, even so, like, that's one of the worst issues. Like, that's one of the least interesting issues.
Yeah, but it's the first one, so it's the one that people are going to want to buy first.
If they're going to start it, they're always going to pick up that first issue first.
Sure, I get that, but it also feels like, hey, if you're going to create the collectible covers, one of each character, I feel like the actual play is spread it out for each issue. Like, have issue 2 be the next character, and the issue 2 reprint be the next character. Issue 3 reprint be the next character. Like,
that is a perfectly fine way to structure it, but that's not how they did it.
It sure isn't. It's like, I can't even make the joke anymore about the machine being fueled by blood and being physically unable to turn off even after they've cut the power. It's just like, what? This just seems insane to me. Like, it's bizarre.
At this point, they're going to do a cover with every single character for the reprint.
It seems like that's what they're doing.
That seems to be where they're going.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I forget who they haven't done yet. But, so, moving on.
I think just Amy has left.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I guess the final one will be Amy. And then
they'll make up new characters to reprint number 1 for.
Or they're still reprinting the comic with the DC characters. So,
God help us.
Our final item for today. Daniel Barnes, the writer behind Sonic the Hedgehog Scrapdick Island, as well as upcoming Sonic IDW content, has launched a Kickstarter for an original comic project called Endless Fantasia. Now, anyone who has followed him on social media would be familiar with this. It's something he's kind of talked about for a while as like, hey, I have these cool characters and there's this thing I want to do, and like, it's this all ages fantasy adventure series that follows the adventures of Jack, a brash, hot-blooded white rabbit, and Jill, a mysterious teenage witch with a checkered past, as they fight to defend the city of Ever After. It uses as its basis a lot of like fairy tales and nursery rhymes, uh, and it kind of just structures a whole adventure comic around that. And a bunch of other IEW staff are working on this thing, including Maro Fonseca, who is going to be penciling it, Rick Mack, who is inking, and Nathalie Fordrain, who is the colorist. And you would know her work also from the colors of Scrapnik Island. Very, very gorgeous. And it's trying to raise 30K. And as of yet, it's raised 13K with 53 days to go. There's a sample comic that you can read either on the website, either on our website or on their Kickstarter. And like, yeah, I don't know, like, check it out. Like, if you like Daniel Barnes's previous work, there's no reason you shouldn't at least give this a look. I've been interested in this since he first started showing stuff from it because I just enjoy the character designs.
Oh yeah,
Like,
the art's great. Yeah, I
he says it's like Sonic meets Kingdom Hearts, which I do see that to a degree because it's especially in the character design, because it's
now
like I'm seeing some Kingdom Hearts inspiration in here, but it's not like it's overly designed.
I see a little bit more personality in the sample pages than Kingdom Hearts tends to have. I do not think of Kingdom Hearts having a particularly strong personality.
Well,
And
I'm talking more character design when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, but Kingdom Hearts has a character over design issue,
okay.
as is true with a lot of things from that director whose name I'm forgetting.
Nomura.
Um, yeah, Nomura.
Yeah,
But
it looks neat. Yeah, hey, as always, Kickstarters are at your own risk on
well,
executing this
if this
stuff,
doesn't,
but
oh right, yeah.
yeah.
Um, uh, Obviously, if it gets funded and then something happens with production, it's like that is the nature of Kickstarters.
But like, hey, it's like the smallest thing that actually contains something is you get some stickers and desktop wallpaper for 15, and if you want the actual comic, it's like I think 25,
Yeah,
assuming everything
25.
goes as expected. Just be hey everyone. Be prepared. A lot of Kickstarter is changing based on the fact that we do not necessarily know what is going on with the tariffs. And I will say, if you pay $25, number one, there is a decent chance that you will pay shipping on top of that whenever they start working out the actual cost of shipping. This is something that I have experienced a lot in Kickstarters. And also, there is a very good chance that there is going to be an additional tariff cost that is not part of that $25 or whatever you want to pay. Be prepared to pay for that based on whatever you think your prediction on what the tariffs will be at any given moment over the next 4 years.
I do find it a little unfortunate they don't have like a digital specific tier, because the $25 gets you a digital and physical version of the comic.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, if you, hey, if it makes it to print, then hopefully it will also make it to digital storefront for comics that you can just buy it separately on its own. But, you know, like, hey, it has to go through the Kickstarter process in order to even, get funded to happen.
Yeah.
So.
And that stuff can take quite a while to get through. I am still waiting on my EGM compendium hardcover. I don't know
The
when
delivery
that's
timeline for this is
coming
December 2026.
That seems somewhat realistic, but hey, in personal experience, as someone who has done a lot of Kickstarters, add an extra year on top of that.
And there's a comic I ordered a decade ago that I just never got.
I have had one that never fully delivered. It was a Magical Girl style RPG source book that just the project fell apart. Like it's just like, okay, we got some stuff. Okay, we were trying to do the printer. Oh, the printer changed on us, and then it just kind of spun off into absolute chaos, and they couldn't or didn't deliver, and just sort of ghosted
Sometimes
on the
production
project.
is just a shit show, and there's nothing they can do.
Yeah. I like. Yeah. Hey, when you do Kickstarter, the thing that you are doing is you are selling on the back of your reputation, and if you can't deliver, well, that's your reputation, and
Yeah.
you,
Another reason to hope this does well.
yeah. But like, hey, it hasn't even hit its goal yet, so
Yeah.
we can't pretend like this is a sure thing to begin with. Like, nobody has paid actual money yet.
Yeah.
So,
in any case, that is our show, which ran a little longer than I was hoping it would, but whatever. We got to talk about Bubsy. So
hey, we spent the normal 3 hours. It's pretty normal. It's still pretty average for us. So,
I'm never good with the outro. But so we'll be back in a few weeks where we will be going over, among other things, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds,
our impressions and so forth.
The impressions of the open network test, obviously. That's what I meant to say.
Friday coming up, we have a Sega Sonic Radio and probably a stream after, depending on how I feel. I have once again dragged my feet on what the theme will be, but I'll try to get something out tonight before I go to bed. And
PAC-MAN.
No, because that's
Sonic.
No. Like trust me, Pac-Man's on the forefront of my mind, but I'm not burning Pac-Man yet. Yep, we got to save that for Pac-tober.
Got
which is like right after the
driving me crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, hey, our opinions our opinions are our own. But the show broadly is under the umbrella of Sonic Stadium over at sonicstadium.org. We're one of the internet's longest running Sonic fan communities. Site's just gone through some massive platform upgrades, and with it came a pretty significant change to our layout and our forum structure, and just so many things that we're still trying to sift through and adjust and fine-tune. And more importantly than any of that, we have so much coverage from Gamescom. We've got photos of stuff. We've got all the coverage of the news coming out. We've got we're probably going to get some impressions. No. I'm just thinking, no, we probably will not get impressions now that I think about it.
Well, Greg should be playing it, so we should be getting.
Is he playing it? Is he actually playing it? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
I
don't
know, because
he's public demo.
He might be there. Like, we understand he's going to be there for other reasons too.
Yes,
it's just a question if he's going to have time.
Check it out tomorrow.
Okay. But yeah, hey, home team's got plenty of coverage going on. We've got screenshots, we've got breakdown of the details, we've got the trailers, like whatever you're looking for, you can head over to Sonic Stadium to get the newest, freshest, and discuss it with other people. Just don't be a dick about grammar. Please don't be a dick about grammar.
Yes.
We ask
Or
you
about
not
what
to...
qualifies as news.
Or not...
Some
yes.
people are typing on their phones, okay?
Well, it's not what the situation is, but sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You missed a whole blue sky interaction and a whole SSMB interaction, Shigs.
You gotta get in on the interactions, Shigs. We got stuff going on. We've got in-jokes. Peace, everyone.
See ya.
See you later.